If I could put time in a bottle, I'd spend every moment with you. Would you really? What person on the earth do you want to spend every moment with? But there never seems to be enough time. I don't think there's anybody I want to spend all that time with. People are irritating. I find myself, with a disdain for people, but a love for them, because you're not going to get into heaven if you don't like people. You know, but I more or less like their souls and not them. Like, I don't want nobody to go to hell except those who really, they really want to go there and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, they just want to be evil until they die. And it's like, there's nothing I can do. I can tell you about the Lord Jesus Christ and try to get you to pray and accept him in your life and then live according to the scriptures. But if you don't want to do that, then, the will is the one thing God just doesn't mess with. He doesn't mess with your will. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't want to spend every moment with. Used to be this woman, that I thought I wanted to spend every moment with. She turned out to be, a hoe. So that that wasn't any good, but that was my fault because I fell in love with a hoe. So yeah, I was the last hoe I loved. Was it? Like I was in love with, you know. But yeah, so if I could put time in a bottle, I don't think I'd spend it with anybody that much. Used to be this young thing I used to chase around. She was irritating too, but she was fun to look at. Oh my goodness. She was a mean ass woman, but she was sure fun to look at. Women are mean, but they're fun to look at, You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to spend every moment with you, but I want to look at you all the time. Like, but just go over there and let me look at you. Uh-huh. All right. Girl. You got me. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. How to get out to that thing? Minute, girl. Wait a minute, come on. Oh, when I'm in church, y'all. Oh, yeah. Let me get back to that thing. I ain't wrote the second verse yet. Yeah. That's as far as I got with that. Something goofy that I'm writing, but somebody was listening to it. And they were like, you know what? I like this song. I could see it being played in the club. So the other day when I wasn't online, I added horns just to mess around and see what it sounds like. Now it sounds more 80, I don't know, 70, 80-ish type of style. And I changed the bass. Ow. Ow. Wait a minute. Yeah. All right. Hey, your style. Come on, yeah. I Got a spreader on it, a little silver. Okay. Let me listen to this. Ow. I need a lead guitar. Ow. Oh, yeah. It hurt y'all. Right. Give me, Lord. Oh, yeah, yeah. All right. All right, all right, all right. Let me get back to that thing. Yeah. Let me get back to that thing. Get down, down. Let me get back to that thing. Oh, yeah. All right, let me write this verse. You got me feeling all right. Yeah, yeah. Wait a minute, y'all. Let me get back to that thing. I be all in church, y'all. Wait a minute. Let me get back to that thing. So damn good it hurts now. Ow, ow, ow. Let me get back to that thing. Hell, hell, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Ow. Ow, yeah. All right. I want to say what's up to my strange, I don't know, she's my friend, but she's a different woman. She's got a lot of secrets, but she acts like she don't. But I know she does. But she's a weird but cool kind of chick. And every blue moon we'll have a conversation. But I'm on to her game, and I want to say what's up to her. What up, GG? Wherever you're at out there in the world, I'm on to you. But what's up anyway? Because you make me laugh with your goofiness, and sometimes my brother just needs that. That's cool. What up with you, GG? How you doing? GG Redbone too, so she be acting. GG be acting light skinned. I'm just gonna say it. GG act light skinned. So if y'all see GG, hit her with one of these. Cause she be acting light skinned, like real light skinned, especially when she put her hair all up. She be acting light skinned, and I'll be catching her on it like, oh, you light skinned today. Okay, I see where it's at. I'm just you light skinned. Get out of here. GG be acting light skinned. Come on, yeah. So damn good it hurts y'all. Well, I lay about a minute down. She be acting light skinned. I be calling her on her light skinnedness. Light skinned people do that though. Why light skinned people act like that? Why y'all act like that, light skinned people? Why y'all act like y'all extra special? Because you're closer to white. Y'all get sunburned, don't y'all? I don't. How special are you now? Huh? Negro. You ain't special now, are you? You got to put on suntan lotion. You still special, light skinned people? Y'all be acting special. And I be catching y'all on it like, oh, white folk come around. Now you teeter tottering on what side you want to be on. You still black to them. I just want to let you light skinned people know that. You still black, according to the government. 1% of black blood in you means you're black. There are white people out there who are just now finding out that they have a percentage of black blood in them from their great 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 grandmothers who were dark skinned people. But some of them settlers climbed up into their camp and, was like, mama up, hit her up, or stole her or something like that, or she was a slave. Then she had a light skinned baby, half white, half black, you know. And then the baby that came after that from her baby, they decided it was better to date a white man than a black woman or a black man. And then they go ahead and date a white man because it's safer. They're looking at the child and going, my child would get ahead a lot further if my child looked more white. And this is true, they would. So they're like, I love black men, but nah, I'm half black, half white, so I'm gonna go with the white side. Then the baby comes out, 75% white. And then after that, the baby realizes or doesn't realize that their great grandmother was black because, they hide that history. And then that great grandchild thinks they're white and it's another female, and that female makes a choice and goes, well, I'm white. I grew up white. Everything I know is white. So I'm going to marry a white man. Then they go and get another white man, and then you come out light skin. And then you go to ancestry.com, and then they hit you with the news. Use a Negro. According to the government, use a Negro. Surprise, surprise. And it's like, I don't know if you really want to go down that path and look up. The one white woman, she was in shock. She's like, I just found out that I'm black. And I don't mean Rachel Dolezal black. I mean, I hate to go on a tangent here, but some of y'all be acting light skinned. Rachel Dolezal came from a white family and wanted to be black. This is the lady who pretended, like she was black, had her hair in black styles, was the captain of a chapter of the NAACP or whatever that goes. Turn out she's white. But I ain't mad at her. She's a cute white. She almost passed for light-skinned black. But I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about y'all who know y'all black, but y'all be acting. I'm okay being dark-skinned. Yeah, I've been catching hell all my life. People still don't want me to come into certain places. I catch it all the time, every day. Somebody still doesn't want me around because of my skin color. And I can't change that. That's fine with me. There's a store right down the street. Don't want no black people. They let me know that. Don't come here. I can go there if I want to, but, and it's a Hispanic store right down the street from here. That whole area is nothing but Hispanic people. They do not want to mix it with black people. What up with you? So, yeah, I was just trying to do some writing, but I just wanted to touch base on light-skinned people. And y'all be acting light-skinned. Don't act light-skinned around me, all right? Because I'm going to check you. And then I'm going to roll out, all right? And you white people, don't use the N-word around me. Don't do that. Don't use the N-word around me. Because you're not one of us. You're not one of us. There are places you can go that I cannot go. There are dwellings, there are neighborhoods that police kick us out of. I got my hair cut by somebody. Oh, but you know what? That person, for one, that person charged me $35 because I was in a nice white area. All right. So I paid more for that haircut. For two, where I was actually doing a combination of things. I don't usually go to that person, but I will go to them again. Hell, I might go to them the day if they're open. But what why you tripping? Yeah, yeah, I don't play. But nonetheless, that person who cut my hair, that dude he has his own salon. It's a nice ass salon. And I was nerding out up at there's a nerd store, with computers and all that. And I go up there and get all my computer stuff, look at big screen TVs, and just I make a whole, day of it and get I geek out, look at the new computers. And sometimes I just walk around in that store. Then I cross the street from where that's at, and I'll go and get a sandwich. And I just happened to see that salon there. I was like, I'm rolling up in here. And I made that video because of the woman I was talking about, the realtor, the black female who took me out on a date, and she was just kind of really crazy. And I was just trying to do business with her because I was interested in buying a house. But she actually liked me. And she saw the video and was like, "You pissed me off, yada, yada, yada." And then turned around and was, apologized for that. And I was like, I don't deal with crazy. I'm not dealing with it. But I used to go to a place right down the street where I was talking about where the Latinos are. And I would go in there and get a haircut. But the last time I walked in there, they were giving me the evil eye. And I'm not dealing with that. There's like 3, 4 of you, and there's one of me. No, I'm strong, but I'm not. I know y'all don't play fair. So once I saw that they was giving me the evil eye, I got up and left. Said I'll get my hair cut somewhere else because I got my hair cut there before and everything was cool. But things have changed down here, and this is right down the street from where I live. Like when I say they don't want to mix it up with black people, they don't want to. Well, I don't listen. You don't want me around. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to shop at your store. I still don't really got nothing against them. I got something against the ones who got something against me. So I mean, there's been some microaggression against black people by the Latinos that are down here in that area, and eventually it's going to come to a head. Somebody's going to end up fighting with some of them. Now there's some guys who live around here that are Hispanic, and they're cool. They don't mess with us or say anything out of line to me, and I've been here for over 10 years. But these new cats, they're the ones who, they're going to end up, we're going to end up squaring up, because there's only so much I'm going to take. I mean, I stay out of their area, but they don't understand the rules of America. Like anybody can walk into the store. If I want to shop in here, you can't stop me. And if you start being racist towards me and I catch you, you don't know who you're dealing with, because I'm the type of guy who will, start making phone calls, and, we're not going to have fisticuffs. You're going to have to deal with the government because that's who I'm going to seek out. And then I'm going to flat out sue you. So, yeah, I'm not like, be careful with your racism. You know what I'm saying? Be careful with your hatred, and, make it a private establishment if that's what you're going to do, where only your people can come in here. But if it's a store, that store is open to the public. If it's, I mean, you can't do that here. There are just laws. I almost got a job, with the EEOC. So, and I've been to them before on people acting racist towards me. I had a lady right down the street that worked at Bob Evans. I go in there all the time, And this lady, she just kept being an ignorant white woman. And one day I called her out on it and I said, look, I'm sick of you. Like right there at the counter, I was like, I'm tired of your stuff. I come in here all the time. You know who I am. You see my military ID, so on and so forth. I went in there last week and that lady was like, oh yeah, I remember you, honey, and blah blah. She straightened her ass right out because I'm only gonna take so much and then I'm gonna speak on it, and you're gonna have a choice because I'm gonna bring some people up in here and we're gonna have a good old time about it. You're gonna lose your job. So yeah, I don't play that, I got to remind people, look, at one time I worked for the Ohio House of Representatives. I know how to make those calls. I know how to walk into a congressman's or congresswoman's office and get the ball rolling. It's just not that hard for me. I'm ex-military. I've had to do this stuff before. So if that's what needs to be done, if you think you can stop me from walking into one of these stores, with your racist antics, then okay, let's get the ball rolling. Yeah, they racist here. I was told that before I moved here. Yeah, they some racist ass people, and I'm tired of people just being racist. I had some white dude who was, when the pandemic was going on, him and a black guard was basically, the white dude was basically stopping me from going into a store about my computers, and I let it slide, but I shouldn't have. I should have just whipped out my phone and start videotaping them, like, okay, let's do it like this since you want to play big man, because I'll sue your company and I'll sue this company. And the company was Apple. I'll sue both of you. I'm just letting you know right now, if you treat somebody else who walks up and tries to get into the store, if you let one of these Asians in here, one of these white people walk in here, and you don't question them like you question me, then guess what, buddy? You're about to hear from EEOC. You're about to hear from NAACP. I'm going to take you straight to my House representative. I'm going to call them and I'm going to use this example, this video, and you're going to hear from that and you're going to lose your job. So I've had it with people being racist towards me, and I'm just going to start pressing them. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I feel. I'm supposed to be writing a song, but I'm completely out of my element. But yeah. But people are very racist here in Columbus, and I'm thinking about leaving. And my brother has asked me to move closer to him. I had a dream about him yesterday, so I might do it. Turns out that my whole family lives in, well, not all of us, but a lot of us have moved southern, in southern areas. And I might just head on down south, and deal with that. Deal with that heat down there. But I've lived in the South before. But that's probably what I'm going to do because, he told me, he said, listen, you're a veteran. They treat veterans down here a lot better than they do where you're at. All the things that you're going through up there and you're a veteran would never happen here. And he was talking about Texas. He was like, they don't do that to veterans down here. And then I was like, okay, cool. This is my chance to grow in a positive way. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, brother? How you doing? Mean to your channel a couple. Yeah, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you stopping by. But he told me, he said they don't do that there. And then I was looking online and I noticed that they were having a hiring for like veterans hospitals and facilities. They had a whole hiring spree. They set this whole thing up where they were just hiring veterans, young, old, helping them with their resumes and stuff like that. It was like, come on in, we're hiring veterans. And we haven't had that here where they're just like, just veterans, come on in, we're looking to hire you guys. I ran into you. Tell me a couple of yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw your comments a couple days ago. You got to my videos from what again? You must have saw something that made you say, you know what, I need to hear more from this guy. But yeah, so there are, Columbus is a very racist place. I knew that, and and another thing he was talking about is veterans benefits. He was telling me that you'll get, they'll help you get better benefits, and that's one thing I'm really looking at because I'm, encroaching upon 60 in about 5 years or so. So, yeah. My refrigerator slinging days, I think, are coming to a screeching halt. I haven't sold one this uh in well over 30 days, and I think I'm just going to shut the whole refrigerator game down. Plus my energy is not as high as it used to be, so I think I'm just about done with that. I'll still sell like small ones. I'll still flip small ones. I did when you was talking about oh yeah, the Buffalo shooting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're still talking about that, and people are saying that there are a lot of experiences, and people are talking about. Well, people have taken sides. Now the people in his family are saying it was because of COVID. They're saying that he was shut in, and uh, he went a little nuts because he was shut in. And now that excuse has gained traction. People are going, yeah, I could see that. I can see somebody being shut in and going crazy like that. The problem is when you plead, yeah, they're in I think Dallas, Fort Worth area, stuff like that, Houston. But the problem with that is when you plead, you know, temporary insanity. I might do that, bro. I might do that. Hey, what's going on, Star? The problem is when you plead temporary insanity, like they're trying to set this kid up for temporary insanity, you have to illustrate that your actions were insane. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we all know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We all know it's a bold faced lie. But we all know it's a bold faced lie. But his relatives start talking about it's because of COVID. But that's just not going to hold up, and But we've seen people get off on in different ways. So I don't know, but that's what they're doing. They're starting to borrow world and then saying it's because of COVID. And then you're going to have to ask how many people who got COVID went out and started, drove 2 hours, stayed in your lane, stopped at every red light, went on every green light, drove to a store, videotaped it. You set up a videotape, and then you got out the car and you started shooting, but you didn't shoot any and everyone. You wounded two white people, you killed 10 people, 10 black people. But not only that, one of those persons who you were close to and was at point blank range was a white man. And you apologized to this white man, meaning you realize this person was a different color. During your whole activity, you said, I'm sorry. And then you went in search of more black people. So he can't he can't plead temporary insanity and it be bought by a jury of his peers. You know, he decided not to shoot him facts. Yeah. See, and when you make there are so many conscious decisions that this person made to where insanity would just be it would be insane to say that this man was insane. Any doctor or psychiatrist who steps in there and goes, Yeah, there's some validity to this. This person was temporarily insane. It was like, when did his insanity start? When he wrote the manifesto? Did he listen to Tucker Carlson talk about white men and white men losing their grip on America, and then he went insane? Like, when did the insanity start? Because from start to finish, even when the police arrived, when he surrendered his weapon, once again, this is not an act of insanity. Police arrive, you know, if you're holding a weapon that you're going to get shot. He puts the weapon down. He wasn't screaming and hollering and acting a fool. Not insane at all. He didn't fire at the cops. Not one round went towards the cops. He didn't shoot. He wasn't even a threat. The cops didn't pin him to the ground. They didn't put a muzzle over his mouth for spitting. They didn't beat it out of him. There wasn't a gun drawn on him and constant warnings. Put the gun down, put the gun down. There was none of that. It was just a complete surrender. And then boom, he went into the back of a police car. Yeah, exactly. We didn't go out and start killing people because we were all locked in. The whole world was locked down during COVID. It's this, this it didn't just happen in America. The whole world was on lockdown. The entire planet was fighting the same thing. But you come out and say, and you didn't even do it during COVID. You didn't do it during COVID. The whole COVID crisis pretty much ended when the Ukraine war started. You did it during it. You did it after COVID. So how's COVID an excuse? Not to mention, if your family is saying it's because of COVID, then this means you have family who cared about you. If you have family who loves and cares about you, where were they? Did they say anything about? I mean, was there any warnings? Because now that the family has opened their mouth, now they're looking suspect. If you're saying it's because of COVID, which was a year ago, so what? Okay, well, let's take that. What I'm saying is, if this person was affected by COVID, which was a year ago, he was affected by COVID, right? And he was out there killing animals, right? Say he was killing animals, right? He was affected by COVID. Did the family know that this could turn into something bigger? Because if I was in the FBI, that's exactly where I'd head. I would head towards that area. I would start looking at how he got the gun, because he got the gun legally. I would start looking at, where were you when he was killing animals and writing a manifesto? How close were you to him? Did he mention anything to you about wanting to kill people? Anything? Because not everybody who does harm to animals wants to do harm to people. But if somebody has started a psychological imbalance and there are telltale signs of it, and you knew about it, then you're complicit. So his family coming out with this excuse, I don't think that they realize that it makes them complicit. You're talking about something that happened. COVID stopped almost a year ago. You're complicit if you see signs of things happening. You know this kid is out there killing animals. You know this kid can go off the deep end. He's 18 years old. You know he has a high-powered rifle. Did you know he wrote a manifesto? Because if you knew he wrote a manifesto, you're complicit. You knew about it. You're going to jail. You're part of this because you didn't stop it. You didn't call the police and say, hey, this person's doing this. I know it's my child, but I think he's going to do something. If you see all these telltale signs and you don't do anything, you are complicit. And you're a complicit to murder. And that's just what I feel about it. I think you're in on it now. And if you're not trying to stop it, then guess what? You're trying to encourage it. And if they start looking at your messages to him and your conversations with him, and he says anything about you knowing, yeah, my mother knew the way I was. We've had conversations about me going out and harming people. You know, she knew I didn't like certain people. You know what I'm saying? The family knew uh, what they were dealing with. He threatened. The family's complicit. They're complicit. Yeah. Yeah, the family's complicit. And the family could be looking at they could be looking at being charged. And if I was a family member who lost, if I lost a family member in this, I would sue the family. I would take them to civil court and I would win. Yeah. Now you probably wouldn't win much, but you can still take them to court and win in court. Their families are probably all gonna get money for being from a crime happening to them. So there will be some compensation, but that I know of, I think that's the way it goes. But I would definitely seek criminal charges, and then I would seek civil charges. Uh, and yeah, so I would drag them into court twice. That's what I would do because I mean, if he was going to shoot up a school, they already knew he had violent tendencies, you know, and the way he acted out the whole thing. I mean, he was talking to a black man right before he did it. He was talking to a black guy on the bench, and that black guy was called away because they said no, because it was like you shouldn't be here for some reason. And when he left, right after he left, that guy came in and he started gunning people down. He said, I would have been right there. He said, I talked to this guy to see if he was smart. You know what the black guy said? He said, I wanted to see if this guy was a genius. And he said, I talked to him for a little while, and it turns out that this guy is a genius. He said this to a news reporter. He was talking about the conversation he had right before this kid did this, which again is a testament to this kid not being insane. They're going to have a hard time with claiming somebody is insane, even temporarily. Once again, when did insanity start? Because if you're walking up talking to a black person, broad daylight, and you two are having a regular conversation, not arguing, not fighting, you're not saying you hate him, nothing. It's just a conversation. And this older man, this man is in his 50s. And he starts asking them questions about particular topics because he wanted to know how smart this 18-year-old was. He said, turns out that this, once this kid started answering my questions, turns out, yeah, I thought the kid was a genius. This is and this is all on the news. And all his lawyer got to do is take that snippet and go, listen to this. Listen to what this witness, this guy who just talked to, your client said. And, if they say, did you have this conversation? He has no choice but to say yes. Your client was not insane. Your client was not insane because of COVID. Not at all. And they tried putting away Grandmaster for starting what? Grandmaster who? Grandmaster Jay? Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to prove. Now, I told this story before. I'm gonna tell it again because of relevance, but I'm gonna shorten it up. I met a guy um who had just got off death row, and he wanted to tell me a story because he just got out of jail. And we were both applying for this program, but I couldn't be in the program because I had no felonies. I didn't know that then, but I was looking for help anywhere I could get it. I was looking for a job actually. And that's what they were helping out felons get back into the system. But I wasn't a felon, so they couldn't help me. But anyway, he sat down beside me and, oh, okay, yeah. And he said, listen, he didn't say it like that, but he just looked at me and said, I just got out of prison off of death row. And and I like to crap my pants because I was like, oh, this dude's about to lose it. Anyways, he told me why. He said, his sister, was you know, she was killed by a man. And well, we need that, brother. We need that for sure. She was killed by a man, and the way he killed her was just brutal. I'm not even going to talk about how he did it, but he said he watched his sister die in the hospital by her ex-boyfriend. And when he saw her pass right in front of him, he went, got himself a weapon, and he saw the dude outside of a Kroger's, and he shot him to death. Now, he emptied the clip on this guy. He just kept firing. Bam, 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 bam. And when he said that, I said, well, why didn't you plead temporary insanity? And he said that the judge said he couldn't plead temporary insanity because he fired too many times, which I think is a lie. I think that judge just wanted to put him away. He said, the judge said, if you would have fired once, then that's temporary insanity. They change the rules when they want to. So if he would have fired once, then the judge would have said, no, if you would have kept firing, that's temporary insanity. So they changed the rules around the way they want to, and they threw him in the slammer. But somebody must have appealed his case and said, this man went crazy because he saw his sister get, brutally done in. He found the guy and, street justice. How can you say that this is not temporary insanity? And it took them years, but they, the guard came up to him one day. Now, mind you, this guy's on death row. So he's expecting to, die. And the guard looked at him behind bars and he said, you're going home today. And the guy said, you're lying. He said, nope, you're getting out. We're letting you out. Somebody heard his case and was just like, Judge, you're crazy. And it takes years to get rid of some of these judges, and some of these prosecutors that are just evil. It takes years. You're right, because it works for those other right. It takes years for it to get rid of some of these evil people. And then a new judge comes in who's sympathetic and goes, this makes no damn sense. The guy emptied the clip, which means overkill. Like your opponent is down, and you pretty much you're using assault with a deadly weapon, and you put 20 bullets into this person. That's overkill. That is insanity. Not only that, he didn't run. He was still there squeezing the damn trigger. This man was the poster child of temporary insanity. Because somebody who is aware of what they did, aware of the law, would have took off running. No. He stayed right there. And they also brought that up in this case. They said he didn't even run. Like, he was right there. They said, nope. He was very cognizant of what he was doing. He was very sane. It's just like, no. That's not sane. That's not sane at all. And he didn't haul off and shoot a bunch of people who had nothing to do with it either. He didn't just start blowing people up. He saw the one person, and he, boom, X'd that dude out, made sure he never breathed again. And this is why they were probably trying to say he was very cognizant of who he was going after. But temporary insanity there's some gray area in there. You can be completely angry at one person and it causes you to go insane. That's usually what it's used for. So, like I said, this guy was the poster child for temporary insanity. Somebody brought him to the brink, and he went over that and was like, I'm doing it. Not to mention, if you see what happened to his sister and what this guy did, you would be thinking about nothing but ending his life. And that's what he did. So, yeah, when I look at this case with this 18-year-old, there's no way I go, this is temporary insanity. For one, nobody who died and or was shot did anything to him. They didn't know him. And he picked those people by their color. So he is very cognizant of what he was doing. He knew when to go. He knew when to stop. In the case I'm talking about with the guy that I met, this guy did not know when to stop. He just kept going. There was no stop for him. If he had another clip, he would have probably loaded the gun and kept going. And he did it broad daylight and didn't run. So yeah, that is temporary insanity. And anger can do that. It can just make you lose it. And that's what happened. So that's what I wanted to say about that. It's gonna be one of these cases where, of course, everybody's gonna watch. Everybody is going to have their own opinion. And everybody's going to have to brace for impact, because even if this guy is found guilty, he could be found guilty for second-degree murder. Now, if you're found guilty for second-degree murder, you could be looking at 25 to life with parole. But that could be knocked down to 10 years. And then if you are good in prison, if you don't cause any trouble, good behavior, that could be knocked down to like 5 to 7. That kid could get out in 5 years. He's 18 years old. He could be walking around on the streets free at 23. after killing 10 people. Like I said, we're going to have to brace for impact because just because he's convicted doesn't mean that there is some type of victory, like justice is about to be done. You have to listen to the verbiage in the for one, in the indictments and what they indicted him over. You know, 10 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, ending in murder, 10 counts of premeditated murder, 10 counts of murder. You got to look at how they indict him, and if they try to over indict him, which they will not, everything that they indict him with will be obvious. Black people are used to being over indicted, so if uh somebody goes and beats up another person in a fair fight, this is a fair fight, and that other person loses. Okay, let's take an example that's real. The man that was in the gym, the big guy that was in the gym and tried to get $100 out of those three guys. He was trying to get it out of one person, but he didn't know that the other two guys were with him. Remember that story a couple months back? Big old fat dude who worked in the gym, clearly overweight, out of shape, but he was a guard at the gym. And the discrepancy happened because there was a bet for $1,000 in a basketball game. The guard was allowing the bet to happen because usually you can't do that there. So once it was over, the guard said, "Give me $100, of the $1,000 you just won." And the guy said, "No." He said, "Why do I owe you $100?" He said, "For taxes. Like I let you guys do this. Give me $100." And then his friends were listening to him and he says, "We don't pay taxes." And he said, "Bull crap. Yes, you do. Give me $100." And the guy was like, "No." So he said, "Okay, get out of my gym." And they said, "Fine, we're leaving." And they were jaw jacking the whole time. And once the little guy who had the money was the last person to leave, mind you, they're still jaw jacking. The big guy, the guard, pushes the little guy. And when he put his hands on him, all three of them turn around and assault this obviously bigger person. And when you have six fists coming at you, you could be Jackie Chan and you're not going to dodge all of those. One of them caught the guy and knocked him out. But when you get knocked out by a group of guys, well, you hit the ground, they don't even know you're knocked out. They're going to stomp you out too. And that's what they did. They got on this guy, they stomped this guy out, but they didn't realize that when that guy hit the ground, he was deceased. So, in that case, this is not premeditated murder. This is probably second degree murder. So they'd be at least looking at 10 years each. They're all in jail too. They didn't try to run. They're all in jail. I don't need, matter of fact, they didn't even know the man was dead. Okay. But his obesity had a hand in him dying also. But it didn't help that all three of you punched him in the face and then you stepped on his head, which can cause trauma to the brain and can kill you. So they didn't know exactly what blow killed the man, but nonetheless, even in the video, you could see that he is no longer moving and he was no longer breathing. So they killed him instantly, but it was an accident. Those men are going to get over indicted. They're going to get hit with murder. Some might even say, well, I don't think they're going to get hit with murder, one, because they didn't do it on purpose. But you can get hit with, you can get over indicted when it seems like you knew the propensity of what you were doing and what it can cause. So if you punch somebody in the face and you knock them out and they go down, and then you start kicking them in the head and stomping on their head, Can a man and or a woman, can somebody die from that? The answer is absolutely. So a prosecutor can make an argument and say, you three guys know that a blunt force trauma to the head can cause somebody to expire. So they can say, well, this is, murder one. They can say it's not premeditated murder because they didn't come in the gym saying, I'm going to murder this guy. But during the act, they can say, during the act of anger, I'm going to kill this dude. He just put his hands on us. And then, boom, you're stepping on his head. There's three of you. Obviously, the man's not defending himself. He's completely defenseless at this time. Once you knock somebody out, they're completely defenseless. And then you do more damage to them. You just got yourself, more charges. So I haven't heard about that case, but there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to give those guys more time than they deserve. Now, I'm not saying that, those guys should be free. I'm saying I don't believe that they meant to kill him. But because of blunt force trauma to the head, and if the autopsy comes back and says this man died, he didn't die of heart attack. This man died because of blunt force trauma to the head, which means you are solely responsible for this man's death. That changes everything. If they say this man was obese and he died of a heart attack, of a sudden, boom, heart attack, because he went into fight or flight mode, that caused his heart, bang, he was overweight, boom, that was it. This man is 200 pounds overweight. I don't know, but he was a big guy. He was overweight. Now, if they're saying that happened, they're saying this whole thing was an accident. You didn't mean to kill him, boom. But if they said it was blunt force trauma to the head, we know that you kicked him on purpose in the head. And everybody knows blunt force trauma to the head can cause a person to become deceased. They can use that argument and say murder one. But I believe they're going to get over indicted. So I think that the prosecutors, especially the way they're giving away time, is probably, if they haven't already, is going to over indict these three guys. And, that's it for them. So that's what I mean when it comes to over indictments. They're putting more charges and deeper charges on you than what you expect because of your intent. Your intent was not to kill. Your intent was to beat the guy's ass. You beat his ass and you kill him. So it's accidental on your part. So with any rational mind, especially with your mind, it was like it was an accident. Yes, we did cause the man death, but it was an accident. This isn't murder one. This is manslaughter, which is around second-degree murder. It's manslaughter. It's like vehicular manslaughter. You hit somebody, they died. It was a car accident. You didn't mean to do it. It's still a man was slaughtered. This is manslaughter. 10 years at best with good behavior, they should be out. That's not what's going to happen. They're going to do more than that. I say they're going to do 15 years and with parole. They could be paroled at 15 years. And I think they're going to do 15 years or more day for day. So it could be 15 years with parole or 15 years without the possibility of parole. Yeah. Or they might give them 25 years with the possibility of parole. That's more or less what I'm thinking it's going to be. I don't know. I'll have to look up the case, but I think that's what's going to happen. In this case, where we're talking about the shooter, because he's going to cry white boy tears, he's not going to be in jail forever. That guy's not going to be in jail forever. Listen, I don't think Dylann Roof is going to spend the rest of his life in jail. I'm going to tell you that right now. I really don't. I don't think Dylann Roof will be in. I just don't. What was Dylann Roof's conviction? Does anybody know offhand? This is supposed to have been a music video, but You guys are really enthralled with this case, as am I. But let's look up what Dylann Roof. See, I'm just gonna see what he was sentenced to. Okay, so Dylann Roof is sentenced to death. Following his federal trial, Roof was given 9 consecutive life sentences after pleading guilty. And okay, so here's a difference. Dylann Roof pled guilty. Okay, so they uphold. So somebody tried to. Okay, so 25th, the U.S. Fourth Circuit Court appeals affirmed. Okay, so they tried to appeal his case, but the judge in who heard the case said, nope, we're going to still give you the death penalty. They tried to appeal his case. You hear what I'm saying? Like they're trying to get Dylann Roof out of jail after killing 9 people on purpose and admitting to doing it. If Dylann Roof would have went into the system and said, not guilty, that would have caused his lawyers to find a way to enter a not guilty plea without them committing some type of fraud on their part. They would have to come up with some type of history that shows that this was not on purpose and the people who he targeted, he accidentally, they were just victims of, uh, of an accidental event and they just happened to be in the way. And this was not racially motivated. You got to understand, a hate crime is a federal crime. So he got caught with a federal crime as well. So, well, a federal hate crime as well, because he targeted those people that showed him love. He targeted those people. So Dylann Roof said, I'm guilty. I did this, which means you throw out every claim of, or any possible claim of insanity because you admitted you did it. You throw out any backstory or somebody else made me do it. It was because of, I was watching, I don't know, something and it influenced him to do it. And it was because of that. This is why I did it. And you should blame it on that. I did it, but no, it's I did it. So they could, even though they knew he was racist, they can't find anyone to blame it on and or anything to blame his act on. And this is why uh, when he went up for appeals, they said, what do you got? Because he went in there by himself. He was a known racist. He was very cognizant of his actions. He chose the people who loved him and showed him love in a church. Wait, what do you got? How can you convince us in an appeals court that this was not just cold-blooded murder? We're listening. It's almost, you have the audacity to walk in here and try to get this man out of jail. Not only that, you're trying to get him off death row. And that's what I really think they're trying to do. They're trying to get the state not to kill him. And the reason is because a lot of death row or a lot of states that weren't allowed to have death row, that's been turned over. There are a lot of states that are now allowed to kill your ass. And we've had two people die by the state. One of them was a woman and one of them was a black man, a white woman and a black man. So a lot of those federal rulings have been overturned. So you're going to start seeing some of these killers begging for their lives because they know that, death row is now a real thing. Like, you can't kill me. I'm in the state of California. Well, that's been turned over. All of a sudden, they're like, call my lawyer. And the lawyer goes in and tries to plead with the court, don't kill this person. And they're going, tell us why. Tell us one good reason why this person does not deserve to die. And when you have absolutely nothing, they reject you. Him getting out of jail is preposterous, but him getting off of death row is possible. Don't forget, Dylann Roof is a young person. So in this case with this, I don't even know this guy's name. In this case, this guy, he is looking a lot like Dylann Roof. And he's pretty brazen too. Doesn't seem sorrowful. That's another thing. There was okay, let me explain a menace to society to you. There was a case here where I live where a black man, him and three others, young black guys, in their 20s, young 20s, went to a place called German Village. German Village, they call it German Village because it looks just like Germany. I used to live in Germany. So when I went there, and looked at German Village, I was like, this reminds me of Germany. It's expensive to live there, and the houses are not very big. It's the same thing as Germany. Well, there are a lot of older white people who live in Germany because it's very serene. People don't go there and mess around. It's just a chill spot. It's like the little nook, and it's not far from town. Heck, you can walk to German Village from downtown. Now, what they did is decide to go and rob people in German Village. They went on a robbing spree. They didn't get caught. And then they made a grave mistake and they robbed an old lady. You know what I'm saying? But the way they robbed this old lady, they got into her house, they tied her up and pointed guns at her, took her belongings, got up out of there. They didn't do no harm to this lady whatsoever, as far as beating her up or anything like that. When the police finally caught up to them, they put them in jail, of course. And then during their sentences, the leader got life in prison. And he was in a state of shock. And they said the reason why he got life in prison is because he was a menace to society. Meaning he was going to continue his menacing if he got out. Now, him and his lawyer were saying, this is just robbery. This was strong arm robbery with, and the weapons that we used were replicas. They were fake. However, using a replica and the excuse of a replica is null and void because of the intent. You used a fake gun, but most of us don't know what a fake gun looks like. An 80-year-old woman doesn't know what a replica is and what a real gun is. And I don't either. So your intent was to scare somebody with a deadly weapon. I'm going to shoot you if you don't do what I say do. You did this to an elderly woman. And you targeted German village because of the elderly people. You were robbing old people. You are a menace. You did it over and over again until you got caught. You're only sorry you got caught. You're going to jail for life. Now, is he still in jail? I don't know. This happened some 15 years ago. And hell, I know some guys who were in for murder and they're out now. We had a case here where a guy, black guy, went into the mall, which is no longer there, and shot a man over his shoes. Just shot and killed him. Boom, right there. That guy is out right now. I know another guy who was in for murder. He thought he was going to be in there for the rest of his life. He's also out. So, do I think that, this guy and his cronies are out? I'm not sure. But you got hit with menacing. So they are reluctant to let you out because they think that you're going to do it again. Now, tying all that into this case with this guy, him and Dylann Roof and the guy who just recently shot up those Asian people and people who do this whole thing, these guys all fall into the menacing bracket. All of them. You had a manifesto, you had a mad on for a certain race. You're not going to get out and say, you know what, I love all races. You're not going to do it. Trench coat mafia, those guys, even though it happened years ago, and I think those guys are dead, but those guys, even if they were living, I'm not sure if they're living or not, those guys wouldn't get out of jail. They're not going to get out because they're menace. They're a danger to the race that they don't like. So it falls under menacing. So there are several charges that you incur, even though you're still not being over indicted. This is still not an over indictment. So this guy's gonna get 10 charges of murder, murder one. This is 10 charges of premeditated murder. Then he's gonna get assault with a deadly weapon for the two people who lived. And then that could turn into attempted murder because the weapon that you used. If you shoot somebody with a high powered rifle, you can get attempted murder. This is it, because you know that a high powered rifle can kill somebody almost no matter where they hit them. You know, it. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying that is, okay, so let's just take the M16. This is what I used in the military. The M16 is the M16 A2 air cooled rifle. Is 7.5 pounds, very light. The reason why the M16 is so dangerous is because of what the bullets can do to you once the bullet hits you. So while I was in and we would have target practice, we learned very quickly that you didn't have to hit the target. You could hit something close to the target and actually skip the bullet. So if you're shooting downrange, and we'll just say 100 yards, if you're shooting downrange 100 yards, you can see that target pretty clear. Heck, you can almost bullseye that target if you take your time. Boom, you can hit it center mass. Now you try that at about 600 yards, things can get it gets harder. So if you're trying that at 600 yards, that target is very small, even though you're using a sight. What you can do is skip that bullet and cause that bullet to ricochet and actually still hit your target. The M16 bullet has the propensity to hit you in the ankle and come out of your lungs. That's why it's so deadly. It has a tumbling effect whenever it hits bone. So you can get hit in your arm and it can, find its way up, through your neck somewhere. That's why the M16 is so dangerous. That's why. And that's why you don't want to get hit with it at any range, because just as soon as it enters into your body and it finds a bone, it doesn't always go straight through. It can hit, ricochet, and tear up your insides, tear up an organ somewhere, something vital. But you got hit in your knee or you got hit somewhere else, boom, it hit off the knee, boom, and then found its way up your body and bang. That's why the M16 is so dangerous. It doesn't always just go straight through you. The further you are away and it still hits you, the more likely it's going to hit you and ricochet. That's why the M16 is so dangerous. A replica of the M16 is the AR-15. The AR comes in I'm not a weapons aficionado, but the AR-15 was designed after the M16. The M16 cost is $20,000 to get a military grade M16. You're talking about a weapon that most of the time doesn't jam on you, and it goes from semi-automatic to automatic with the flip of a switch. Automatic weapons are not allowed on the street. You get caught with one, you're going to jail for a long time. So the AR-15s that you're seeing these people use, these are semi-automatic weapons, not unless they turn them to automatic weapons. But all of these shootings are all done with semi-automatic weapons. And they're not even close to military grade. But some of them you can pay $5,000 for a nice AR-15, a nice Bushmaster AR-15, Smith and Wesson or whatever, whoever makes them. I'm not sure, but I think Bushmaster does make some of them. But there are variations of the M16 or the AR-15, is what I'm saying. Now, I don't know which one was used, but I know it wasn't a semi-automatic weapon. It was an automatic weapon. He didn't go and spray everybody at random. He chose his targets, looked at him, and he shot. And he shot them at close range. This has intent written all over it. All over it. There's no way you can get around the intent. There's no way you can say he shot that person from 200 yards in a grocery store. He skipped that bullet off of, the ice machine and boom, it accidentally hit this person. He can't say it. He shot them at close range. He went and sought them out and shot them. So the insanity plea is just going to be thrown out the window if you bring anybody who knows anything about guns. You bring any ballistics person in, there's no way. There's no way they're going to have it. There's no way they're going to have a COVID excuse either, even though they're going to try it. But, how many people went out and murdered folks because of COVID? Although there were some murders, it wasn't because they didn't say, I did it because of COVID. You can do a scientific study on it. You can look at statistics. You can call in a statistician. You can call in somebody like myself and go, okay, how many people died? How many people died by gunshot wounds? How many people died by this particular weapon that this person used? How many people were of his age, of his color, and killed people of the opposite color? And once you start narrowing down all of those samples, you'll start narrowing it down. It'll pretty much come down to like a very small group of people, and or you will become the only sample. You won't become an outlier. You will be the only sample. It'll be like, boom, 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 boom. These are how many mass shootings happened during COVID. This is how many people said it was because of COVID. And then it's you by yourself, a standalone complex. You're the one who killed because of COVID. Let's look at COVID. And when we look at COVID, no one else in America killed somebody else with this type of gun and or killed somebody else because of COVID. You start looking at how many people killed somebody else because they were shut in, you might get a few cases. But then when you start narrowing it down to the weapons, to the manifesto, to you were already killing animals, you already had some issues going on there, and you did that all with intent, there's no way they're going to be able to plead insanity and it looks digestible. Just can't happen. This kid's going to go to jail for the rest of his life, and he's probably, with God's grace, he'll probably be on death row, and maybe 10 years they'll probably kill him by lethal injection, and that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. So that's all I really had to say about that. I guess I'm going to have to change the topic of this this video, but yeah, it's a sad case. But here's the thing about it. Recently, or this year, I think this year, the black man who went and killed those 3 cops, they killed him. They killed that guy. He didn't surrender his weapon. They definitely were out to kill him. Most of the time, when you see a black person commit a crime with a deadly weapon, they usually kill them. This year also, there was a lady cop, a few of them, but in this case, the cop was standing right next to the guy who had a gun. And she told the guy to drop the gun. And then the guy drops the gun. Then she shoots him. And the guy looks at her like, why did you shoot me? He looked so relieved after getting arrested. Like he thought mission accomplished, because it was a mission to him. And I think he was sent. I'm going to say it over and over again. I think the police were in on it. And the police are going to go, how were we in on it? Well, let's look at the last 3 cases. This includes him. How were they arrested? Now let's take the last 3 cases of black men that were arrested unarmed. The last 3 black men that were killed unarmed. They were all unarmed. You shot a man in the back of the head just a couple of weeks ago. Dead in the back of the head. You're shooting people who are running from you, who are unarmed. You're shooting women and children, all unarmed and defenseless. But these guys who commit mass murder, you apprehend them. And you took one of them to Burger King. You took Dylann Roof to Burger King. You don't shoot these guys. You don't kill them. And because of your lack of aggression towards them and your super aggression towards us, you're letting white America know that it's okay to go out and slaughter black people. Now, we're going to take you to jail because we have to, but, we're going to treat you very nice and we're going to apprehend you. We're not going to murder you, meaning you're going to get a chance in court. That guy that just got shot in the back of the head, he didn't get a chance in court. Those guys that the police barged into their houses for the no-knock warrant, they didn't get a chance in court. And it was the wrong house. They didn't even apologize. They didn't release the names of the officers who came in and shot those 2 men. They shot them, killed them, and went home to their wives. Those guys are murderers in the first degree. And those guys who, for that no-knock warrant, both times, both addresses were wrong, and they knew it. They knew they were knocking on the wrong door, and they bursted into the house anyway and shot the wrong man twice. No, this is not an accident. This kid didn't kill these people on accident. They're doing this on purpose. This is 100% murder. That's what this is. And it's on purpose. So, yeah. Now you got black people who are like, screw this. We're going to start, going in after them. You got the guy who ran people over. I mean, it's about to get real bad. He went to school with a hazmat suit. School on mate said he was quiet and very, very different. Listen, a guy knew some stuff about the military. What he should have did was join the military and went in the special forces. That's what he should have did. That kid was 18. He's got his whole life ahead of him. He should have went into special forces and then went on, missions. And that'd be that. And he would have been called a hero. Him and Dylann Roof. These guys waste their lives. And that last guy who shot those Asians. There is a legal way to go out and kill people. It's called the military. There are special ops military. There are parts of the military you don't even know about. I mean, you could get on SEAL Team 6 or, and those guys and get deployed into some rough areas that you're not sure you're not going to come back from. But hey, if you want to be somebody who wants all this blood on your hands, the military, we're not short of killing people. The U.S. military loves to kill people. Those kids are all healthy. This kid is healthy as an ox. I'm sure he could run a 2-mile in, 13 minutes. He can do 50, 60 push-ups, 40 sit-ups, and, some pull-ups, run through some dirt. They would have gave him a $20,000 M16 and said, hey, you want to shoot something? There's a couple targets right there. Go ahead and shoot them. And then if he's good at what he does and says, I want to be a Green Beret, I want to be a paratrooper, I want to be, like David Goggins. I want to join the special forces. Listen, the military loves people who are overachievers. It's the one place where you don't go and people go, your captain goes, you're an overachiever. You go to work and you overachieve, people don't like you because now they have to work as hard as you. You go to the military and overachieve, the captain comes out to talk to you. And I know because I was one of those people. I could run a mile in 11 minutes. And there were 2 guys in my company that could run a mile in that time, and I was one of them. The other one was a white guy. And they made us race. And the captain came out, and this is the captain of a B, and C company. And he came out and he said, listen, whichever one of you wins this race, I'll take the dinner. Now, that might not be a big deal to you, but when you're an E1 private and the captain comes out and he, starts talking to you, and then all the drill sergeants, start getting behind you, that's a big deal. That is a huge damn deal. And it put me right on the spot because now I have to try to track down this fast white boy who was running under 11. And I'm like, I knew I couldn't beat this kid, but they put me right on the spot because I was out there as a road guard and I wouldn't get tired when we were doing our left, right, left. A road guard is a person who goes out on the road and he has a flag or something and he stops traffic and he waits until the last person in the company runs by during our jog, and then he runs to the front and does the same thing. So you're using up more energy than anybody. I love that. I was running I was running a mile well under 5 minutes before I even got into the military. I was doing that just on the street, running down the street to get a loaf of bread. My sister would be like, "Hey, Tony, go to the store for me." And I would run out of the house with the money and run all the way to the store. And they would come out and watch me run down to the store and run back. When I was 14 years old, I would chase the bus for a mile and a half just to impress my girlfriend. And they would be at the bus stop going, run, 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 run. Because it was the last, if I missed that bus stop, that was it. I had to walk to school. And I'd get on the bus and we would all fall out laughing. But I would get up in the morning, the double Dutch bus playing, and I would look out of the window, fourth story. I lived on the fourth floor, and I would see kids getting on the bus, and I would let that bus go. I come flying down them four flights of stairs, hit the outside, boom, cut across the rock field, boom, hit the stop sign, straight up, hit the red light, boom, cross, go over the tracks, boom, hit the stairs, come up, there's my girlfriend's house right there. There they are right there going, run, run. I love that type of stuff. I was an overachiever once I got into the military. That was it. They came out and they made a big deal out of it. They were just like, boom. And even after I lost that race and I got to my unit in Germany, we had a captain that was replaced by another captain. And this captain said, "I heard that you like to run." This is what this captain said to me. He was like, "I heard that you like to run. I heard that you're the best in our company that," because there were people in our company that could run, but they were married. They didn't live in the barracks. I was the fastest person in the barracks. So when he heard that I was the fastest person in the barracks, he challenged me to a race. Our captain, this kept happening to me. He's like, let's go, a 2-mile race. And it was during, our PT time. So I was like, okay, bang. They said, go. I left him standing. He couldn't believe how fast I was running. I smoked his ass. And I would go out and run in the rain, in the snow. I would just be out there running. My bosses would see me running. And then they had this thing called a hash house race. I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but it's where the whole company come out and race, and we would be racing against a 2-star general. So all the, all the brass was out there, from the lieutenant to the first lieutenant, second lieutenant, captain, captain, major, colonel, captain, major, lieutenant, colonel, first star general, second star general. All of those guys were all out there. And they saw me win the hash house race 3 times. I did it with ease. So because they like overachievers, one day I was going into work. Now I worked as a cook. We have 2 shifts, morning shift and afternoon shift. I was working that afternoon shift. My E7 came in and he walked past me and he goes, "Pow, you'll be in the hash house race tomorrow." And he kept walking. He kept walking, and I ain't say nothing. But everybody who was sitting there during that meeting was upset because they knew that tomorrow they was going to be short 1 man for breakfast, and we had to feed 1,000 soldiers. You do not want to be short 1 man. But there was not one thing that they could say to stop me from going to the hash house, because a 2-star general said, "I want this guy out here during the hash house race." And that was it for Pitt. Nobody could say anything. They complained to me about it, but what do you want me to do? They say they just let Powell go, and knowing we need him in the morning to go to some race. And I was looking at them like, you guys don't run. When I get off of work, I go to the gym, then I go running. And then I got a running buddy who comes onto the barracks at 10 o'clock at night and says, "Let's go run again." I was an overachiever when it came to that. And it was recognized in the military. And that is no lie. That's no lie. All the way to the top, they recognized me. This guy here can run. They love overachievers. So these white boys who are getting out here, who are just as healthy as a horse and want to dress in BDUs and besmirched the legacy that my family has, my military family, it hurts me to look at that. You dressing in Army BDUs, which are battle dress uniforms, like you're going to war against defenseless men, women, and children. This is a slap in the face to anybody who's ever been in a service. You're fighting up against unarmed people, people who never even been into the military, people who know nothing about the weapon you're using. Nobody else has that weapon. You shot a guard, and you have a high-powered rifle. This guard has a handgun. Everybody know there's no match. There's no match. You can't compare an M16 to whatever that guy was carrying. What was it, probably a Glock 40? Glock 40 will put a hole in you, but Glock 40 only has what? Maybe 13 rounds? Maybe? I don't know. I'm not an aficionado. But I know what an M16 has. An M16 has 27 rounds in the magazine. 27. Twice as much and more. And you can trade those magazines out with the quickness. You can even attach them, flip them over, twist, boom, click right back in, clack, 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 clack. It's a whole different story for a handgun. Now, a handgun, you can boom, slip out, boom, put the next one in. You got 13 more rounds. But by the time you're doing that, I'm still shooting at you because I have 27 rounds. I have more rounds than you do, and my rounds are bigger than yours. There's no match. That's what I'm just saying. These guys are an embarrassment. All they had to do was join the military or try to, or hell, become paramilitary. Hold on, I'll be right back. Play some music while I'm. Girl, you're just too good to me. Cinnamon, honey, apple sweet. Is this the way it's supposed to be? I wake up, is this a dream? Girl, you got the devil eyes. You got me hypnotized. I'm so into you. You got me feeling alright. You can just be sure of Okay, so what I'm saying is you could also be paramilitary. So the military has contracts, and they love crazy people who will go out and just do nutsy things and not have an affiliation to them, but nonetheless, they're the ones who sent you. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh, you'll go into the Amazon jungle? Fine. Go into the Amazon jungle, knock off about 20 people out there that we don't like. And, oh, thank you. Yeah, that's the song I'm supposed to be working on. But, I got roped into this conversation. And just want to explain why it bothers me when these guys do this. But I also want to explain some legal aspects of it. And I would love to have a legal analyst come on here and, tell us what we'd be looking at, and also correct me on what I said that's wrong. And that's fun. See, I'm one of those people who don't mind being wrong. I don't mind being wrong to a point. Like when I know I'm right and research it and be like, this is correct, and you're still saying I'm wrong, then I'm like, okay, you're just trolling me. But when I'm not sure and I throw out, conjecture or hyperbole, then go ahead and call me on the BS and straighten it out because I want to give the real. You know what I mean? I want people to come here and know that they're gonna get what's really out there. They're not gonna get fluff and they're not gonna be steered the wrong way. Like I said, I don't make any money off of you guys. I don't make any money off of you guys. I don't. I get what is it? Maybe 3 to 5 cents off of one of these videos. And then it goes into the annals of, tonism and nobody watches it again. And sometimes somebody will stumble upon one of these videos like years later. So yeah, I don't make any money off of this, but I enjoy talking to you guys about things that are bothering us. And I also don't really like using other people's material. I don't really like doing that because I think it's lazy, but I know that's the way a lot of YouTubers are coming up doing reaction videos. They're just waiting for something to happen so they can go and pirate it and then give their opinion that nobody cares about. You know what I mean? It's just lazy to me. So I don't really like watching those videos uh, without somebody actually making their own content. Now, if you are making your own content and then this content happened to be comparable, then I can almost buy that. But for the people who aren't, are just doing reaction videos and everything you have is a reaction video, I never subscribe to it. I may watch it just to see the actual video, but once you start talking, I just get on out of there because I don't care about your opinion. I don't, because it's just lazy to me. But yeah. So, like I said, there's military contracts these young idiots can take up, but they're doing this for one shock value. They're doing this because they think Black lives are expendable. Some of them do it because they think they can get away with it. Remember, white people are at the top of the food chain. They don't have no natural predators, so they have no fear. This is bad and good. You know how this is good? Because white people want to go to places that I just am not interested in going. But when you go there and you come out and tell us what it's like there, I'm like, thank you for going there. Because I'm not going in there. I'm not going spelunking. I'm not doing it. I don't want to know what's at the bottom of a cave. I'm not going to dive into the world's most dangerous cave, but they do it all the time. And, when they get stuck and die, it's like, well, this is the reason why I won't go in there. But some of them come out and go, okay, this is what's in the cave. And some of them are so hard pressed to be this dangerous that they kill themselves. Like the guy who went into one of the most dangerous caves. Everybody knows it's dangerous. And what he did was he was totally inverted and he was trying to get to this other side because he thought it would open up. He thought if I can get through this hole, it's going to open up and be a whole nother hole. And then, everything will be all right. So what he did was he sucked in his breath and he scooted down into the hole and found out that he was completely wrong. And then he let his air back out to get his breath and found out that he was stuck. And he was stuck upside down. And his ribs were hitting up against the stone, so he couldn't reverse. So, of course, he had people with him. They called an emergency. The people who, the emergency people went down there and tried to get him out. They could not get this man out of this hole. So they poured cement over him and buried him right there, alive. and then they covered up the hole and said, nobody else can go down here. Or the people who go scuba diving. These people have gone scuba diving in this one area, and they were told not to go any deeper than this one area because, for one, you can't see. For two, it's very murky water. And once that murk kicks up, you lose your sense of direction. You don't know what's up or down. Plus, you could run out of air. And there are false waterways here that can make you think that you're going up and you're going to hit the top and be able to get some air, but nope, it's just the top of a tunnel and it's completely submerged. And so there were 5 friends, a couple of them were brothers and a woman. They went down, they jumped in, they went to the spot where they're supposed to be. There's a line right there, they could see where up and down was. And then they were looking at the spot where they shouldn't go, and they knew they shouldn't be there. They weren't even prepared to go down there, but they kept looking at the spot, and 4 of them jumped into it and boom, disappeared right in front of the other guy's face. So what the other guy do? He went after them. They all had flashlights. And so the guy is trying to follow this one person. He can barely see her feet, fins kicking. Boom, he's trying to warn them to get the hell out of there. But he was running out of air. So what did he do? He said, screw this. I'm going to turn around. He went, turned around, and he was hoping to see his friends come up out of there. He went back in to try to see if he could find anybody. And one other person came up out of there. They found their way out. What happened is the other person was too deep. They ran out of breath. And the other 2 people, the woman and a man, I think his brother, they were coming up and they went the wrong way. They zigged instead of zagged, and they thought they were going up to where they were supposed to be. Turned out that it was a dead end. They end up dying, running out of breath, and hugging each other. And that's the way they were found. White people do stuff that I don't want to do, and I appreciate that. They have no natural predators. So they will do something that I'm totally not going to do, but I love to watch it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But this also is very dangerous because white people were manufactured to destroy. They were. In the book of Deuteronomy, the white people were made by God to destroy other destructive entities that were there. And those entities were giants. You look at the book of Deuteronomy, where the Jews were walking around the mountain for 40 days, or for not 40 days, for 40 years. And the reason why the Jews were walking around the mountains for 40 years before they went into the promised land is because God wanted all of the warriors and the warrior generals who wanted to fight. He was waiting till they all died off. And when the last one died off, then the Lord said, okay, go into this land. He did not want them to go into the land and cause war. But while they were circling around this mountain, they noticed that there were people living in the mountain. And God warned them. He said, do not go up and fight those people. He said, I gave them that land because they killed the Amorites, or the Ammonites, I think they were called. There were different names for giants. But that's when you find out what an Ammonite is, you find out that it was a giant. And it was a race of giants. And they lived all through those mountains. Well, white people went up there and killed them because God wanted those giants dead. Like I said, read the Bible, you see it. I'm going to read your comment. I ignored many videos after Kevin Samuel passed because there were a lot of females who didn't even like the man and had something to say. So I went right past them. I feel you on that. I haven't watched the Kevin Samuels video in a minute because, I was hurt by Kevin, what happened to Kevin. I think he was a leader and I think they killed him. Didn't have time for such hateful comments. Yeah, and this is one reason why I've been avoiding it too. Vivica A. Fox is leading the bandwagon on that. And, to me, Vivica is just a bitter woman. I need something to drink. Doing all this talking, I ain't got no. I got some water, but I don't like that water. Can you guys hold on while I go grab some water? Play this music again. Girl, you're just too good to me. Cinnamon, honey, apple sweet. Is this the way it's supposed to be? I wake up, is this a dream? Girl, you got the devil mind. Got me hypnotized. I'm so confused in your mind. You got me feeling all right. You can just be sure of oh. Wait a minute. Hey. Oh, girl. Yeah, old Vivica A. Fox. But yeah, Kevin Samuels dying wasn't because of karma. He's talking about karma. Kevin didn't wish death on nobody. That's not karma. You know what I'm saying? When somebody robs somebody and then gets robbed, that's karma. Kevin didn't put out karma to, he just didn't. Not that kind. Or you're saying that that woman killed him and that was the karma. You're talking about women, a woman killed you. It came back to you. It's highly possible that one did kill him. Highly possible. We don't know yet because the autopsy hasn't come out, but I think she did. I think she killed him, spent the night with him. She could have easily slipped something in his drink. Yeah, he told the truth. That woman could have easily slipped him something. She just met him. She had no love for him. She's probably a good-looking woman. From the picture I saw, she's a good-looking woman. She's young. Kevin liked younger women. Nothing wrong with that. Legal. 18 and up is legal, but 18's frowned upon. But he liked them in between 21 and like 27. You know what I'm saying? And some women got issue with that because he was 56. It was like, can we cut this out with the 21 is a baby? 21's not a baby. This is a woman out of college. And babies don't go to college on a regular basis. Not unless you're Doogie Howser. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's just a baby. That's a 21-year-old full-fledged working woman. This is a voting, this is somebody who could be a parent legally and it not look, crazy. Come on. This is not somebody who were, oh my God, you're so young. No, it's 21. 18, I can almost buy that. But hey, 18 is 18. You're emancipated at 18. Some people force emancipate at, I think Macaulay Culkin divorced his parents. You got some kid stars who divorce their parents and they become emancipated. Doesn't happen much, but it happens. Some people get rid of their parents and they say, I want to be emancipated. And that state can look and see how old they are, 14, 15 years old, and say, hey, if you can survive on your own, if you can take full responsibility for yourself, and they become emancipated at 15 years old. It has happened. Now, I don't suggest, you go and date that person, but 18 across the board in every state is legal. It's frowned upon, but it's legal. But 21 being frowned upon, I'm not having that. And that's one reason why a lot of women didn't like him, because he liked good looking 21 to 27-year-old women. Listen, there are a lot of high powered men who do the same thing. This is not something he came out the gate and made up. This is something that a lot of wealthy, popular men do. Leonardo DiCaprio is known for this. Leonardo DiCaprio cuts you off on your 26th birthday. One woman said to him, you know what, it's my birthday. He said, honey, I don't care. He's a known womanizer. You know where he gets it from? Jack. That's who he gets it from. Yeah. He's like, screw that, I'm not getting married either. And he told Leonardo, he's like, listen, never get married. Leonardo can have all the honeys he wants. Worldwide, nobody's got an issue. You even have some women who are older now who are like, I had a chance to sleep with Leonardo DiCaprio and I didn't do it and I regret it. And these are not okie doke women. These are good looking women who are in the same business he is. And they're like, I regret not doing it. They said, this woman said, he offered me a chance to sleep when he said, you coming with me? And she said, no. He said, okay, and walked away from her. She said, I wish I would have done it. I mean, come on. So Kevin Samuels is some kind of bad guy because he was doing the same thing as Leonardo DiCaprio's doing? Explain that to me, because I'm missing something. Yeah, it's a crazy double standard. I used to date a 22-year-old. I did. Used to date a 22-year-old for about 6 months. She liked older men. She knew I was 50. I was close to 50. It's like 49 or whatever. But she knew it. She liked me because I was an older guy. And when I talked to her, she said, listen, I've been like an older guy since I was younger than this. I just like older men. But she was 22. We were walking in the store, Kroger's, and a woman said something to me, said, you and your daughter, black woman. And I said, you think this is my daughter? And I just started laughing. She just looked like, like, lady, don't give me that look. Because if I wanted to talk to you, you wouldn't talk to me. You only said something to me because you see somebody who's 20 years younger than you. And she wants to be around me. She doesn't have a problem being with me. She doesn't look at me and go, ooh, you're ugly. She doesn't look at me and go, ooh, you're old. You can't do this. You can't do that. No, she's coming to my house on her own. And by the way, she already has 2 kids. Okay, so get out of here with she's a baby. She has I don't know, at the time she had a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old or something from her previous relationship with a guy. Like, get out of it. Like, it just kills me with this. Oh, you guys are, weird because it's like, man, please. She's not the only woman I was dating that young. Another one, and I met them all on the same website. And once they see how old I am, they're like, yeah, let's go. I'm like, Okay, but I'm an older dude. I'm not with the rah rah, and they're like, that's fine with me. Let's go. I'm interested. I used to date this woman. I think she was 24. She was a school teacher. She was a whole school teacher. And I'm supposed to be like, no, because I'm 51, you're 24, and that just doesn't. She's like, I am a school teacher. Like, I'm a grown up. Let's go. She would drive 2.5 hours to come see me. We had a great time. And when she was done, she was done. She ran off and got married to a guy. That was that. So this whole thing with Kevin Samuels dating younger women, I got to get off of that because younger women are coming at us. And look, and you see me, I'm an average looking guy. I don't got a lot of money. If these younger women are coming after me, they're swarming Kevin Samuels. This guy was driving $1 million vehicle. You realize the poo nanny that's being thrown at somebody who drives a McLaren? Do you understand the panty dropperness of a McLaren? Draws just come flying out you, and you could be a nobody, but if you pull up in a $1.5 million vehicle, oh, you are the big time. You are an instant target for panties. Trust and believe. No, I'm not trying to hear it. Michael Jackson said he didn't want nothing old but some money. Not mad at him. Maybe Kevin Samuels felt the same way. I am so not offended. Listen, I've had younger women. I've had older women. I enjoy them both. I enjoy them both. I don't turn them down. If somebody 21 wants to come and hang out with me, let's hang out. I'm cool. I can't do all that jumping around on top of you that I used to do when I was 30. But hey, I can still, Netflix and chill with you. We could eat, have some great conversation. I know you're not going to stay around long. I'm old. I get it. But when you come around, we can have a great time, and then you can run off to some young guy you're going to end up with, because they all do the same thing. They hang around old guys because we're peaceful. They want some peace. They're tired of the loudness. They're tired of guys lying to them, running through them. They know they're going to get some honesty over here. Either we like you or we don't. They know it. They know we're not going to always be trying to get in your draws. We just don't have the energy. They also know that they can come over here and probably get a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? Some of you young boys might not have any money. Big ups to the ones that do, because they get money too. But they got a fleet of young girls around them. I don't have a fleet of young women around me. So you come over here, you feel damn special because you're the only one calling me. You're the only one coming around. You get my full attention. You come over here, we can cook some dinner up, watch whatever, chill. And then, I know you're going to run off and be with one of your young boys. I'm not mad about that, because I used to be the young dude getting those girls like that. I'm not mad. I appreciate the time I can spend with you. That's how I feel about it. I don't get mad at the young boy because he's, I can't do that. I can't compete with him. I don't have the knees to compete with him. My back hurts all the time. I can't. I got to take medicine when I wake up. This kid jumps up and flies out of the house in a snowstorm half naked. I do that, I'm going to the hospital. I can't do it. I can't match his immunity system. My thing don't get hard every second like his does. He's still trying to have babies. I ain't thinking about babies. I can't do it. And I know I can't do it. So I don't track down young girls to try to prove to them that I can do something I can't. I don't. But when one comes along, I'm like, hey, it's whatever. That's the way I feel about it. You know, when older women get upset and see me, if they see you with a younger, beautiful younger female, they got they get the panties all in a bunch over it. And I'm like, you'll be the first one to look at me and go, "Ooh," you be the first one to turn your lip at me and then say something to your girlfriends and y'all laugh at me. So I give you the middle finger and keep going. And then when I roll in here with something firm and fully packed, titties still standing up, you got a problem because you got 4 kids and you got 2 bras on to try to hold what you got going on. She walking around with no bra on and them things are staring at you. Don't get mad because you was once this age and there was an older guy who was all over you too. You played your game and now it's up. Now it's up. And that's just that. Now I'm the older guy. And when I see, I appreciate, listen, I appreciate sagging titties. I appreciate perky titties. I appreciate titties. Why? Because I don't have any. So, so I appreciate them, but don't give me no attitude because you don't appreciate perky tits. Damn it, you was perky once. You should have been married and stayed married. You didn't do that. You divorced them and got on out here. And when you find out the majority of men your age don't want sagging tits, now you're mad because you can't compete with that young 25-year-old. You want to, oh, you're sick. You're a pedo because you like 25-year-olds. What? Did you ever think that 25-year-olds like us? How is that a pedo? Please explain. You don't even know what a pedo is. A pedo is somebody who likes somebody 9 years old and under. That's for one. That's for one. Let's just get that. There are all kind of files all the way up until I think 16 years old. There's ebophiles, pedophile, and there's another one. So there's stages. There's 9 and under, 10 to 12, and 13 to 17, I think. So yeah, you don't even know what a pedo is. Like 25 is nowhere near any other 3. That's for one. And this is a grown-ass woman. And a lot of these 21 to 25, they got kids. So break that down to me. Like, you a pedo, you just love throwing that around and don't even know what the word means. Don't even know what it means. I'm like, get out of here. Yeah. It just irritates me when women try to scar you or shame you because they can no longer compete in an area. What you should do is, hey, if you want to play the game, go get yourself a young boy. Go get yourself a 21-year-old. They're out there. They're not going to stay with you. Your chances of marrying them are slim to none. My chance of marrying one of these are greater. I can marry a 21-year-old and she'd be happy. Hell, if you don't believe that, you need to look at YouTube. There are a lot of men that are doing it because these females know the deal. They know the deal. There's not enough men. It's not. You made me laugh out loud with the going to the hospital comment. That was a good one. I don't even know what I said. I was just running out about the mouth. I'm just saying, man, don't get mad at Kev because Kev was slinging the D on the young chicks. That was throwing the ass at him on a regular. Don't get mad at that boy for that. Yeah. Listen, there is value in youth, in men and women. This is why when you're young and you're hot and you're firm, your stomach is flat, your ass is tight, tits perky, lips gorgeous. There's a reason for that. The reason is so you can catch a male and you can produce children. When you're 18 and you are stupid, you don't know nothing, and there's some 25-year-old, 30-year-old guy who's on his square, and he's like, listen, I'll teach you something. Come go with me. We'll lock it down. I'll teach you something. I'll go to your dad. I'll do it the right way. Let's go. And you run off with that guy. You marry him. You do it the right way. Whole family, before God and country, and do it the right way. You don't hit 27 after 2 kids and leave this good man because he slowed down in the bedroom. The man works. You want somebody fresh out of prison. That guy wasn't working. That guy was in jail for 15 years doing push-ups. That's why he looks like that. Your husband's got a gut because he goes to work, works his ass off, does extra hours. He comes home tired as hell. He doesn't have time to do 400 push-ups a day. He's got to play with the kids. He's got to listen to you and whatever you got going on and try to have sex with you for 15 minutes. If he can get that off. And then the damn bell is going to ring. Time for him to get up at 4 a.m, be at work at 6, and do it all over again just so he can get a pension and make sure that his kids can get through college and that the roof over your head doesn't crack. The water heater that just went out gets replaced immediately in the dead of winter. Okay? All right? That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. And then you're mad because he doesn't look like he did when he was 30. Well, neither do you. You got stretch marks everywhere. You don't look the same. Your cooch ain't the same. It ain't as tight as it used to be. Your ass ain't, you can't bounce a quarter off your ass. You can't do that. You got some extra meat and he ain't complaining about none of it. You don't walk around every day flawless. You stink. Okay? And he's accepted of it because you're the mother of his children. He loves you and he loves his children. But you want to abandon all that for the pool boy. You want to throw away everything and then take the man's house. You take his pension. You take his children. You take everything away from him and completely break that man in half. Completely. Everything he's worked for all his life. You and his family. And you take that away from him and you expect that man not to lose his mind while you screw some 25-year-old in his bed in front of his kids. You asking for the whole OJ experiments. That's what you're asking for. You're asking for that man to sit outside of his house, at his house, watching another man play with his dog and kids, slapping his wife on the ass in front of his kids, looking right at him while, you're kissing on. Okay. And I'm still paying mortgage on the house. And you just took me to court again for more child support. All right. All right. You know what men think about when a woman puts them in prison? They think about the woman that put them in prison. The whole time. That's what they think about. You want some attention? Put a man in prison. He'll do nothing but think about you. That's all they'll think about. And then when he gets out, he'll be still thinking about you. Except now he has nothing but his life. And you took 10 years of that away from him. Probably over a lie. Took his truck. His kids are grown now. He missed all the experiences. He missed them growing up. He missed the first boyfriends of his daughters. He missed the first girlfriend of his son. He missed the ball games. He missed cheerleading practice. All that was shared by another man. You ripped that away from him. So when he shows up one day, unexpected, and he's got a 9mm in his hand, and he points it dead at your forehead, and he squeezes the trigger, and then he sits on the curb in front of the house that he paid for, crying. The other men that see this, we don't feel sorry for you. We feel sorry for him. Because we know. We know what you were doing. We know what you did. We have no love for you whatsoever. And then the single men who see this, they don't go, I want to be married. They go, to hell with being married. Facts. That's what they do. The younger men see this and they go to hell with being married. And this is when you got incels who are whacking off into a Dixie cup before they give it to you. I'm not giving you my sperm. I seen what you did with this guy. I'm not going to give you my sperm. I saw what you did. And I saw what all the women that were around you paraded, and they told you to do this. And I hear about all the cases that are going to court of the women who encourage this type of behavior in their freedom and liberation of the pussy. No, your pussy's liberated. So you don't ever make the mistake of trying to lock down somebody who's liberated. That's an immovable object and an unstoppable force. That's what that is. You don't do that. A woman goes through her hoe stage, you can't stop her. She has no fear of God, let alone you. When a woman is hoeing, she is hoeing. She's not going to stop. And you can say what you want. You can slap her upside the back of her head and try to knock some sense into her. There's not one thing you can do to stop her from turning her ass up to a stranger when she's a hoe. There's not one. She's going to be a nasty, stinking asshole. And that's because that's where she's at in her life. And she's going to be as filthy as possible because that's the spirit that's in her. There's not a damn thing you could do except don't be around her. Because when she comes back to her senses, after she's got it out of her senses, out of her, heart, she's going to come back to the good guy. She's going to be looking for the guy who would stroke her hair and give her back massages and rub her feet and tell her how beautiful she is. She's gonna look for the guy who listened to her cry in the middle of the night over the randomest thing. She's going to go back to the guy that answered her phone call in the middle of the night, the guy that said, who woke up well before it was time for him to go to work and listened to her half sleep, knowing he has to go to work soon. He needed that shut eye, but he sacrificed that for you. She's going to start calling him again, but he's not going to pick up the phone. Another woman's going to pick up the phone. And she's going to say, don't call here anymore. Even some of their mothers encourage them. Yeah, they encourage this. Encourage them to do their men wrong. Right. This makes them feel they're doing the right thing because the mama said it's right to do it. And their mother is a lonely whore too. She's a lonely, bitter, beer-faced whore. Full of hatred in her heart for a man who left her because she didn't know how to act right. For a man who doesn't want to put up with her BS. For a man who doesn't want to listen to you complain about nothing. Nothing. Nothing's wrong with you, but you want something to be wrong. I had a woman that would say to me, let's argue. She wanted to argue and then have sex. I didn't want to do that. Had another woman who used to hit me. I'd be sitting there in the living room. She would just come in and hit me with something and then would run in the bedroom. One time she hit me with a pillow and my neck went this way and I heard my neck crack. I jumped up and went in that room and snatched her ass. She had no idea how close she come to getting punched in the face. I was about to beat her up. I thought I was assaulted by somebody. I went into fight or flight mode. I didn't look at her as a woman. I thought she was the enemy. I told her, listen, don't you ever do that to me. If you want to screw, okay, let's screw. But you ever hit me, you're going to have a problem. She tried it again some years later, and she regretted it. I told you once, don't hit me. Don't. Yeah. So these modern day women are off their damn rocker. I'm glad I don't deal with any of these modern day tricks scheming on you. They're fun to look at. That's it. Dance around in a circle. Go ahead. I don't want to hear you talk. Just here, spin around. Spin around a couple times. Let me look at you. Well, that sure is nice. Now I'm leaving. Goodbye. Have a great day. That's it. I got what I wanted. I tried to explain that to a woman. She's like, you mad because you ain't get what you want? I said, I get what I want every time I see you. Every time I lay eyes on you, I get what I want. You think I care that you run around with somebody else? Nope. Every time I look at you, I get what I want. I'm happy. Well, it's hard for a man to claim. I mean, it's hard to Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is going through hell right now because he can't claim that Amber Heard hit him and abused him, even though he has marks on his face and she has marks on her hand, even though it's recorded. He still has to prove that this woman abused him in every way. She cheated on him. She abused him. He's missing part of his finger because she threw glass at him. This is an abusive woman who set Johnny Depp up. That's what she did. She never loved Johnny. She said Johnny tried to kill her, but can't explain when. She's on record saying, yeah, I hit you, Johnny. Like, so what? Be a man. That's what women think. We can hit you, but you got to be a man and take it. No, you can't hit me and me be a man. I'll be at ease, man. I'm just on my Dr. Dre for the music. Shoot, I wish I was as good as Dr. Dre. His woman left him too. You hear the ridiculous claims she wants for support? Oh my God, so much money. So much money this woman wants. It's ridiculous. His monthly payments. Yeah, but Johnny Depp is going through hell because of believe all women. Don't believe all women. Don't you ever believe all women. Women will play that to the hilt. Yeah, his wife is getting him good. His wife's getting him good. When they came out, oh, Dr. Dre's a billionaire. You got to understand that Dr. Dre's a billionaire because of his assets. A lot of these people that you say, oh, they're billionaires, it's just like, you got to understand. Listen, if you took away Elon Musk's assets, if you took away his stocks, this is why Elon Musk got sued for $20 million and is no longer the CEO of Tesla. Because Elon Musk was talking about selling his stocks. And when he did that, his stocks dipped. People start selling it. They're like, I don't want nothing to do with it. If he's not going to be there, boom, he starts selling it. They took him to court. It was like, you owe $20 million. Yeah. Yeah, his wife. Yeah, his wife never made a track. These basketball chicks, they ain't never. These basketball wives, they ain't never shot a hoop in their life. That dang Brittany Renner, shoot, they ain't shot a damn shot, ain't did a layup, and we'll take him out. Look at Steph Curry's dad. In the hurt he must be going through. He got 2 kids by that. He got 2 kids by his ex-wife, and she's up in the stands playing, grab ass with a white man. You man, you no goddamn way. I would have been in prison that night. I'd have rolled up right in front of everybody. Stop the show right now, damn it. Nah, you get your goofy ass in the car and let's go, or you gonna have a problem. This is not what you want. This is not what you want. This is not the game you want to play. You want to put me out here like this? Nah, you gonna, hey, you do not want to play this game because it's not gonna go to court the way you think it is. You're not gonna make me look stupid after I done put all this work in. And nah, get in the car and shut up. Get in the car, shut up. And to the white man, you put your hands on my wife again, it's going to be the last time. And I'm out. It's going to be the last time you put your hands on anything. And stand up and get loud if you want to. I'll crack you right in the mouth right now. Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, he taught him to cry. Those are his boys. Both of them are in the NBA. People don't like Lamar Ball, but that woman is still with Lamar Ball. Lamar Ball is loud and he's obnoxious, but he was correct. He was correct. His boys play in the NBA right now. He was talking all that jazz, and he knew his boys was going to go to the NBA. Where are they at now? In the MB freaking A. Yeah, fathers are important. Quit playing like this whole thing. The dads aren't important. And these people give their honors to their mother, and they don't give them to their dad. I'm like, Listen, I can't blame LeBron James for not honoring his father because he doesn't know him. That dude, I can't get on him when he's like, my mother held it down for me, blah, 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 and don't say a damn thing about his father because his father wasn't there. I can't blame him for that. All he can blame his father for is his genetics. Now that you can, give your father credit for, because you wouldn't be here without that. But as far as raising you, no, he ain't raised you. You grew up poor. My brothers went to school with LeBron James. They live right down the street from my dad's house. Yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, because daughters will grow up hating their fathers, thinking their father's a slouch. Yeah, Lamar Ball ain't take no shorts. I thought he was obnoxious too, but I was listening. Yeah, she hood. His mama, she kicked the back window out of a police car. But that's his mama though. He ain't gonna. Hey, that's his mama. Hey, listen. You're not gonna live in Akron and not have some edge to you. I lived in Akron. That's where I was born. You gotta have some edge to you, or get up out of there. And during that time when they were running around, there was a lot of D boys in Akron. There's a lot of baby mamas out there who don't know who their daddy is, because them boys was slinging that, what down there. Oh, it was heavy until the feds came through and cleaned all them boys out. I remember I was living there. They came through and all them D boys disappeared in a matter of weeks. Feds came through there and stopped all that, because all that action was coming through there. Coming out of Pittsburgh and Youngstown. Yeah, sweeping right through Akron, going up in the VA. Yeah, or the West V, going up into West Virginia. Yeah. All that action was coming through there, coming through. The little small city of Akron was a powder keg. Yeah, you got to have an edge to you. So his mama being hood didn't surprise me. Hell, I had another friend who was in Akron, and he used to be, crazy. He used to do some wild stuff. So he used to tell me about it. I almost got into the game, but the Lord said, mm-mm. And I knew it was an act of God when I ain't getting to the game, but I was broke. I got tired of people firing me, and I was broke as hell. So I was like, shoot, let's go. I knew somebody who was in it, and he was like, this is how I go. He was getting ready to teach it to me. And the next day he was going to show me the ropes. I never saw him again. He didn't show up at work. I never got a phone call from him. I never saw that dude again in my whole life. It was an act of God. God was like, you do not belong out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not your mentality. You're going to go out there and get killed. And I had to thank God for that. That street life ain't for me. I'm not a hood street dude. I'm not that dude. Yeah, I'm not that dude, but I was hurting for money. I was like, look, I got to do something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was working, but, I was working under stress. The white boys wouldn't leave me alone. They kept threatening to fire me. One dude was trying to fight with me. I just needed to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. We ended up calling the NAACP on the white people who kept threatening me, because he was threatening me and 2 other women, black women. And we got tired. We all got together, compared our stories. We was like, we had enough of this. Went and called the NAACP. They called down there. They called to their headquarters, TJIF Fridays. They called TJIF Friday headquarters, and the boss said, if you say anything else to any of those people, we're going to fire all of you. They had to leave me alone. You ran the goons from Picnic. I'm glad I saw the light. Yeah. Most of them are hanging out with you're hanging out with the feds. Some of the homies are dead. Even some of the dudes I talked to, I told them, I said, I almost got in the game. They said, let me tell you something. We knew somebody who was like you. He got into the game. They found him one day dead with a bullet in the back of his head. I said, yeah, man, it wasn't for me. I was a hoe. That's what I was. That was my aim. Because even my friends who were in the game, they couldn't understand how I had so many women. I was good at the women, so whenever they didn't have a woman and, they was feeling, whatever, I'd be like, I get you a woman. I'd make a phone call to some woman I knew, and women know women. So I'd be like, yo, homie, I got you. Come on over. And there'll be a woman there for them. I did a lot of my friends like that. A lot of them, like, they couldn't understand how I had so many women. I was just an open source to them. I was nice to them, and I ain't take a lot of their goofiness. And I let them know what it is. And women appreciate honesty. And a lot of them was with it. And then, plus I was a little freak back then. And women are freaky. You be thinking, oh, this girl wouldn't do that. Yes, she will. Yes, she will. I don't care if she is a nun. She's got something in her somewhere that she wants to let out. And if she finds that avenue, she will let that thing go. And I found that out about a lot of women. A lot of conservative looking women are off the chain. They just don't know where to release that. And I found out how to get them to, I'd be in their ear asking them what their fantasies was. And they would start talking to me and telling me what they wanted. I'd be like, okay, fine. Then I'd give it to them. That was my MO. It kept me broke, but, I wasn't alone a lot. And eventually I looked around and said, I'm getting old. I'm broke. I'm not going to marry none of these chicks. Some of them wanted me to marry them and they had money, but I was like, nah, because they would have all the control. Then I started having my own desires to be more than just a hoe. I said, I need to be more. I need to do more. And that's, I was like, I need to finish my degree. And once all that started happening, all that being a hoe slowed down and came to a screeching halt. And the Lord stepped into it. It was just like, you can't continue to do this. He told me one day, he said, you better stop. It was just like that too. And I knew it was the Lord because I was going to keep going. It was fun. But the Lord was like, that's not what you're here for. So he's like, you better stop. And I remember him telling me that one day. I remember it very clearly because he knew what my intentions were that day. I was like, oh, I'm about to. He was like, you better stop. That was it. And my hoeing went right out the window. And now I don't have any honeys at all. But I'm not unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Before it made me unhappy because I ain't had no honeys. I couldn't get no sugar. I ain't had nobody to squeeze on. Women smell good. They got that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't rub no booty and nothing. I kept it a buck with him. I kept it a buck with all. Listen, it could have been a lot worse too. There were some women I was turning down because women know when you're having sex. They just know. They just like, oh yeah, that dude is. I'm about to get me some. They know. They know when there's women around you. They can sense it. They know when a man is active. He's just got an aura about him that women are attracted to. And then they just come out of the woodwork. And when you're not, they know that too. They're just like, no, you're not giving it up. I can tell. Yeah, they're worse than us. Yeah, shoot, bro. But yeah, I kept it a buck with them. And you would find out that a lot of women, their friends, they were freaks too. I would find out that a lot of women liked their friend. Their friend didn't even know it. And women are very cliquish. So if one woman doesn't do something, another woman doesn't do it. But when one woman does something and that other woman sees that avenue open, she's like, yo, I ain't know I could do this and not be a weirdo or a freak or shoot. That boy, man, please. I found a lot of girlfriends actually like their girlfriends. They just don't know how to like their girlfriends, until somebody like me came along and would get the whispering in her ear. And then I would ask them directly, I'd be like, do you like any of your girlfriends? And it'd take a few minutes to get out, but they'd be like, yeah, I think so and so is attractive. And that's it. That's all I needed. And it was on from there. Next thing you know, the girlfriends was over here. So that's what I did. I wasted a lot of my good years doing that though. So I regret it because I didn't have a family come out of it. That's the problem with being a hoe. The hoes don't equal family. And you can't get that time back. That's why you gotta be careful of, what you're doing because you can't get the time back. You can have fun, but there's just a danger in it. And once you get to a certain age for a man, you're just like, what's the point of me having a child now? You can still do it, but it's just harder. You know what I mean? So I do regret it, but I don't do any of that stuff now. And it's not because I can't, because I can. I just don't want to. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that, and God doesn't want me doing it. So, but yeah, that's what I used to do. That was my concentration. I didn't want to, I didn't want to try to get back into the game. I didn't, once the Lord told me, hey, don't do this, that was it. And I've been broke a lot in my life. But once I had that experience where he pulled that guy away from me, that was pretty much it for me. I knew it wasn't for me. Yeah. Tiffany. Is this Tiffany, Chicago Tiffany, or Arizona Tiffany? Yeah, but once I knew the game wasn't for me, that was it. But what's really funny is, yes, Arizona. Okay. Well, what's really funny is after I realized that the game wasn't for me, then that's when women start really liking me. It was weird. And when I hit my 30s, no, it's not worth it. But when I hit my 30s, women really start coming at me. I mean, because I was, like I said, I was 70 pounds lighter than I am now. I had an 8 pack, all that other good stuff. I had a bald head too. But women really start, gravitating towards me. But the women that liked me, very few of them wanted to stay with me. And some of that was because they just was hoes. They just wanted to screw. And then as I got older and start listening to Kevin Samuels, I started realizing that I couldn't afford a wife. A wife could afford me, but I couldn't afford a wife because I was working through temporary services. I couldn't find a steady job. I would get fired all the time. And after I got burned out trying to do that, I went out and started looking for ways to make money on my own. I started with a little flooring job that didn't work out too well. Then I started looking on Craigslist and looking under just odd jobs. I became a handyman, and after that, I got into brand marketing. And once I got into brand marketing, I went from making barely any money to making $500 a week. And then I said, well, wait a minute, let me give myself a raise. That $500 turned into $700, and I topped out at about $1,200. But it was seasonal. So I would go out and hustle, be all over Ohio. I'd go into Pittsburgh. I went all the way out into Oklahoma City to work. I mean, I was traveling, I was getting that money, but it was seasonal. What do you mean, wife? No, see, when I say a wife could afford me, there were women, the majority of women that I dated, pretty much 99% of them made more money than I did. And some of them who made a lot of money looked at me and said, you're not locked down to anything. Why don't you marry me? This is what one woman said. And she took me to England, and then we went to France. She said, why don't you marry me? Because I travel for a living. She was a GS-13, which means she makes good money. She's probably a millionaire now. She's like, I travel for a living. You'd be perfect for me. The problem was, if she got mad, she had all the power. And she got mad at me one day, dropped me off, and never spoke to me again. And I knew that was coming. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing that because you got all the power. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no power. I ain't had no money. And I don't believe in divorce. So I knew I would have been stuck. She was cool. It's just that I wasn't attracted to her like that. Yeah, there's a lot of money in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of crazy ass cops in Pittsburgh too. That's the reason why I don't live there. When it comes to the females, though, look, if you want a wife, go to Pittsburgh. When I'm talking about a no nonsense, I'm not playing with you. Look, if you saying you're coming here, don't lie to me. Or I'm coming to see you. I don't have no man. This is what I do for a living. This is how much money I make. When you want somebody like that, go to Pittsburgh. You'll find her. You'll find her straight up and down. This is where I'm at. This is what I do. This is how much money I make. Blah, blah, blah. You'll find her in Pittsburgh. And she'll be pretty. She'll be pretty. She won't be, look, she'll be a good look. Go to Pittsburgh. If you can stand it in Pittsburgh, because it's nuts now. I grew up there. But when you want a around the way beautiful hood chick / professional, go to Pittsburgh and go to one of those clubs. You'll find her. They'll come after you, and there'll be a group of them, and they'll all be professionals. Cops, lawyers, work for the city, work for the state. Be a bunch of them. No, I'm trying to tell you, I'm from Pittsburgh. I know. I used to go to the clubs down there. Trust me. What I'm telling you is correct. I mean, I'm not looking for a wife. I'm not looking for a wife. That's why I'll probably find one. But I'm no longer looking for a wife. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that I truly don't think that women can be satisfied, and I don't. And one of my current issues is I don't have a lot of energy. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I've met some women from Pittsburgh. Trust me, they're in a desperate situation. I met some beautiful women from Pittsburgh. Trust me, they. You're in Pittsburgh right now. What part? Pittsburgh, PA. My city. What part of Pittsburgh? What part? I was about to come down there because of an acting. I got an email from an agent, and they wanted me. They were looking for people to go down there. I told them I'd do it, but they ain't hit me back yet. What part you live in? Because I can tell you where I grew up at. Damn, Pittsburgh. I can tell you where I grew up at. What hood you live in? Oh, no wonder. No wonder. Bro, you live in the Hill District. The Hill District is the hood. Bro, how long you been living there? Let me explain. Let me explain to you. Shoot, the Hill District, the projects. And listen, the Hill District has always been one of the wildest places in Pittsburgh. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I grew up in a place that's no more that it isn't there anymore. Yeah, I grew up in a place that isn't there anymore. You know where Braddock is? You ever heard of Braddock? You ever heard of Braddock? Braddock, PA? It's uh Braddock is close to Homewood and Wilkinsburg. Yeah, Braddock is near Homewood and is across the bridge from Duquesne, and it's down the it's what you talking about? Yeah, and it's if you know where the Duquesne Bridge is, Braddock is below the Duquesne Bridge. That's where I grew up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, if you go down to Braddock and you go on Talbot Avenue, or excuse me, Braddock Avenue, and you follow that down before it heads out of that main strip, that last light, you make a right, it dead ends into Talbot Avenue. You make a right, you go down. On your left will be the steel mill, and once you if you keep going down, that street actually dead ends and goes right into the river. Where there's a salt mill or something there now. That used to be whole projects. There used to be 5 buildings. Whole families gone. Used to be 5 buildings there. A, B, C, D, and E building. And the last building was for the elderly. Yeah, that's where I grew up. You know, we moved from Wilkinsburg. We moved from Wilkinsburg to there. So I was running around in Wilkinsburg and Homewood. Yes, near Swissvale. I used to play football for Swissvale. For sure. Yeah, that's where I grew up. But I ended up going to school out in doing my last couple years out in Beaver County. And I played for New Brighton High School. So yeah, bro, but Homewood, Wilkinsburg, it's the hood, but Oakland, bro, you cannot tell me as a young man, you can't go to Oakland right down there and sit on that wall. You can't go to Oakland and find a woman. You don't even need to find a woman in Oakland. They'll find you. My old ass can go to Pittsburgh today and meet a whole slew of females. It's just not hard to do. And they'll talk to you. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, they got some hood. They're a little ratchet, some of them. But you got some of them that are making good money, got their head on right. Look, I'd have met all types up in there. I'd have met the professional women down there. I'd have met the sexy hood chick. Son, I'm telling you. Oh my God, Homewood women. Oh my God. It hurts because you know if you date somebody from Homewood, you better carry a gun. But they be so beautiful. But if you ain't a gun carrying dude, don't go in. I used to go in a Homewood and party till 4 o'clock in the morning. I bring my homies from here. I'd be like, you guys want to party? There's 4 of us. I'd be like, you guys don't know what partying is. Let me take you to Pittsburgh. And I knew where this little hole in the wall club was. I was like, come on. Took them to that hole in the wall. They lost their damn mind. It was just wall to wall, playing all the hip hop. Oh my God, it was just so much fun. But the hood dudes there. And the hood dudes don't like when they see somebody, you know what I'm saying, who they think is new, but they didn't know that I'm from there. You know what I mean? But I wanted to show the homies a good time. Oakland got nice. You know why Oakland got nice looking women? Because Pitt. They all go to school at Pitt. Oh man, shoot. I'd have met the little hood chick that goes to Pitt and still lives in the hood. I met her too. I'm trying to tell you, man, there's just a lot of different caliber of women in Pittsburgh that'll just shock you. Because you be thinking they uppity and they not. But it's the people around him that make it bad. I don't usually have a problem with the females. I got a problem with the dudes seeing the females that I'm with. Every now and then there'll be a hard-head female. Don't go to Aliquippa. Don't do it. If you meet a girl from Aliquippa, don't do it. Do not, I repeat, do not date a girl from Aliquippa. Do not date a woman from the Hill District. These are just things you don't do. Do not do it. Because if that chick takes you to a club in Aliquippa and everybody knows her, they're about to jump you. You're about to get beat up. You'll be lucky if you make it out alive. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm trying to tell you I'm from there. Don't go to Aliquippa. Don't mess around there. And there's some good-looking women there banging straight up like New York chicks. Like they got that whole sass and attitude about them. But damn it, don't go and see them. Don't do it. Don't go and see them. Don't mess around in Beaver Falls too much either. Not too much. But Aliquippa is a big no-no. A woman can't tell me she's from Aliquippa and mm-mm. Yes, a woman cannot tell me she's from Aliquippa and come visit her. It's like telling you. It's like telling somebody in New York they're from Pink House Projects. You can't do it. That's how you get. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not go into Quip Town because the haters will. They'll be on your ass. They ain't trying to see no new dude come up there and slinging the D on none of those chicks. They think all the women belong to them. They'll get on you as soon as they. No, you're not doing that. Yeah, if you gonna hang out with and get a good down to earth chick, you got either rock with Homewood, Wilkinsburg. You can still gotta be careful there. Homewood and Wilkinsburg, you can still rock with. Yeah, you hate Quip Town. Yeah, you better hate Quip Town. It's a dangerous place. I don't deal with no chick from the Hill District, even though I like some chicks from the Hill District because they got that edge to them. But after a while, you're like, I'm not that dude. I'm a soft, corny, laid back dude. I ain't trying to fight nobody over nothing. But if I gotta fight somebody, I'm fighting everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting. If I get ran up on, I'm fighting everybody. We all in now. Men, women, you know. Anybody who decide to jump in, I'm coming at all y'all because that's just how they get down out there. They about their business. You know, you might find a decent chick in Swissvale. Yes, don't go there, man. Don't go there. Or you can, well, I'm gonna say New Kensington, but don't go to New Kensington. They dust. Don't do that either. New Kensington is poor. It's a New Kensington is. They got some hoods to them, but they got some decent spot. But I wouldn't suggest New Kensington out into that area. Uh, but if you're messing around in Moon Township in Aliquippa, you better be with the white woman who don't. And I don't suggest that either. I'm just saying, don't go to Quip Town. Yeah, see, Homewood's dangerous now. Homewood wasn't always like that. Homewood was where you go to meet the around the way girl. That's where you used to, if you knew a girl who lived in Homewood, she was the chick that you bragged about you go with. That's who the Homewood girl was. My girl from Homewood. For one, Homewood girls can fight. Homewood girls can fight. So you already knew. If some girl wanted some smoke, you'd be like my girl from Homewood. She already knew what it was. That's for one. Homewood girls can fight. But Homewood girls was sexy. You know what I'm saying? They was just. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't go to New Kensington. I got people in New Kensington, but don't go there. But Homewood girls were sexy. That was just it. Homewood and Wilkinsburg and East Liberty. All those hoods right there used to be okay to mess around in. And, you may get in a fight or two, but it wasn't that bad. But now everything has changed. And those girls, there are so many of them. They, what I'm saying? They cool, but they strung too tight now. You know, you can't be a dude who don't know nobody and go there, especially if you go up there where Johnny Gamage was killed. You can't mess around up there at all, up in Bloomfield. You can't go to Bloomfield at all. You can't go up there and be a nobody. You can't do that because the police would get your ass up there. They broke Johnny Gamage's neck. They were still beating Johnny Gamage up when the ambulance came, and the ambulance people had to tell them to get off, had to tell the police to get off of him. They cracked his neck from this side through this side. That's how they killed him. Johnny Gamage was related to a Pittsburgh Steeler, and he was driving the Pittsburgh, the dude who he was related to, he was driving his Jaguar up in Bloomfield, and the police didn't like the fact that he was driving a nice car, and they killed his ass. And then they hung the jury and moved it to a place where there was all white people, and the police got off. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Homewood used to be a place you can go and get some good food. You can go and find a nice girl to chill with. It was always an adventure. Homewood, Wilkinsburg, and East Liberty. Now it's just dangerous. That's what made me not want to live there anymore, especially the police. Yeah, that's, it's a shame because the girls had a reputation, and guys would come from all over the state to try to be with one of these girls because they had that reputation. And now it all turned to dust. And that's why I was like, I got to get out of here. I can't rock with that anymore. Brentwood, Tom. Well, okay, Brentwood. Yeah. Yeah, I knew a girl from there, and she was like, you got to go. She was like, this is where Johnny Gamage was killed. I was like, I'm out. Yeah, the police jumped on me out there too. I got a fractured skull because of it. Yeah, they bloodied me all up, beat me up, broke my finger. I had to get an operation, and they threw me in jail. I woke up, I was uh, um, handcuffed to the bed. The judge actually came to the hospital to arraign me. It's crazy as hell. Police will do you in up there, man. They see you driving by yourself, middle of the night, they'll dust you off, they'll kill you. So you got to be careful. Because the girl I was going to visit, she lived near the Civic Arena, right outside the Civic Arena. You know what I'm saying? Nice girl, good job. You know what I'm saying? I was going there to hang with her, but I got lost where she lived, and she lived right around the corner, and I had to use a payphone because I ain't had no cell phone back then. Those police saw me, stopped me for no reason, beat my ass, put me in jail, impounded my car, and got away with it. Yeah. So you just got to be careful running around in Pittsburgh anymore. It's just not safe. And that's what drove me out of Pittsburgh. And then I would go back to party. I'd bring my homies. I'd be like, yo, let's go to Pittsburgh and party. And that was cool, but I didn't stay there anymore. I just went in, we get on some chicks, have fun with them, kick it with them for the night. And then we leave. Well, shoot, I got a billy club to my head about 8 times, but I was still standing. That black cop was hitting me in my head. He hit me like 8 times in my head. I got a dent in my skull because of it. Yeah, but he didn't knock me down. Then after they put me in handcuffs, that cop punched me in the stomach. I was still standing. Broke my finger. I was still standing. My head was bloody, blood come down to my head and everything, and I was still standing looking at him. I didn't even move. I was looking right at him just to let him know if this was even, I'd kill you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a while ago. It's back in like 98. I didn't know they tore down. That's what I'm saying. I don't go to Pittsburgh no more. I didn't know they tore it down. I mean, I would go there and see the concerts, the Fat Boys and that. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Pittsburgh. Yeah. I would go there and see the Fat Boys, Kumo D, you know what I'm saying? All them. Yeah, bro, I'm from there. Used to run around there a lot. Graduated from there. Yeah, you want a nice girl now, man. You got to meet her in Oakland. That's just that. You want a chill chick, meet a chill chick in Oakland, getting her education on. Still got a little edge to her, but not much. What she's not is she's not ratchet. You know what I'm saying? She ain't ratchet. She ain't broke. She ain't mean. She ain't calling you out of your name. She ain't cursing. I met some chicks down there and they were all like that. They were just chill as hell. And you were like, wow, like this is refreshing. That's the way they were. They were just like, shoot, they would just chill with you. I mean, if you wanted to sit out on the wall, they didn't have all these high expectations of you being this Superman. It was none of that. You wanted to sit out on the wall and get something to eat, get the foot long hot dogs at what's the spot you used to get the foot long hot dogs? Right there on the avenue, across the street from McDonald's. With the fries. You get the big hot dogs with the fries, that cheap ass, greasy, terrible food that tastes so good. There'd be a line out the door for it. I forgot what the name was. It Miracle? That wasn't Miracles. It was damn, I forgot the name of that place. Love that place. Fries all over the floor. Just a health inspector's nightmare. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. This is true. This is true. Although the ones I met were actually from Pittsburgh. Like, but I didn't meet them in Oakland. I met old girl in I met her in East Liberty. She thought I was a drug dealer. She thought I was a drug dealer. She thought I was a drug dealer because when I saw her at work and she was so pretty. I was like, yo, what's up? Like, what you want? You know what I'm saying? I came at her because I had a little money on me then. I was like, I'll buy you something right now. I went and bring her some roses, like a whole thing full of them. It's like, what's popping? You beautiful. I just came at her. She's like, yeah, we thought you was a drug dealer. It's like, nah, I ain't no drug dealer. I'm just a regular working dude. You know what I'm saying? And then once I lost my job, that was it. Yeah, originals. I just a dude who had some money at the time. Then I lost my job. But shoot, she was fine as wine. And she went to school down there. She is fine as wine, little light-skinned chick. But I'm just saying, every now and then when I used to do marketing and promotions, I would, go to Indy. I would go to Pittsburgh a lot. I would go, to Cincinnati, Cleveland. So I would still go in and out of Pittsburgh, grab a hotel, go to work, and then boom, be out the next day. You can find some chill chicks in Pittsburgh still. Yeah, you go down to Originals. It was to the point where I would drive up and say something to a chick and get a whole conversation out of her. That's hard to do now. That's hard to roll up to somebody you don't know and be like, yo, you want to go to movies? She was like, when? I was like, we can go now. She's like, oh, I gotta do this, that, and the third, but I'd like to go. I just rolled up on her. I'm saying there's still young ladies out there like that, but it's just so dangerous now because for one, the dudes get jealous of that type of swag. But when I'm in Pittsburgh, I'm different. I am different because I'm home and I don't really hold back. I don't really hold back if I'm walking them streets of Homewood, man. But I'm more careful now. But you know what I'm saying? It's just hard. It's just hard being in your own spot and not being able to fully get your chill on. But my swag is different when I'm in Pittsburgh. It's just different because I know the area. Like I know I can go there and just be me, and no girl is going, treat me like a piece of crap because we on the same wavelength. So you can talk to the young ladies, the older women. You talk to them, and just be chill and just have a good time. And but as soon as the dudes come around, you're gonna find some hating ass dudes, and then that's the problem. I don't know that much about Cincy. I don't go there too often. I don't go to the hoods there. Only time I go to Cincinnati is when um I'm going to pick up or deliver. So if I got a refrigerator that I'm going to pick up, I'll roll up in the Cincy. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I hardly ever go there. So I don't really rock with it too well. But I've never dated anybody from Cincy. The closest to Pittsburgh out here would be women from Dayton. Women from Dayton got the same attitude as women from Homewood, East Liberty, and Wilkinsburg. They got that same flavor to them to make you want to lock one of them down. Just never piss one of them off. They got that same thing, boy. And if you make love to one of them, you better be prepared because she's gonna look at you in your eyes the whole time. Do not get up out of there and think you're gonna get up out of there. Nah, it ain't going down like that. That was the thing about Pittsburgh women. You couldn't just knock them off and then be out. At least back in those days. You didn't want to, because for one, that would get around the hood. And they'd be like, you let so and so. And they'd be like, no, we go together. That's my girl. Yeah. I need an around. When LL was saying he needed a around the way girl, Homewood was my around the way spot. Yeah, Cincinnati's chill. The roughest spot in Ohio is Youngstown and Cleveland. The chillest spot is here where I'm at. But the women here are not what I would say you want to be with if you're from Pittsburgh. They're not gonna understand your vibe. They're gonna think you weird. Nah, if you want a woman like Pittsburgh women, you got to go to Dayton. Cleveland women are harder. They're harder. Yeah, but Dayton women are, yeah. She's the one for me. She's the only one. Yeah. You want to get a chick from no nonsense, nice shape on her. Ain't playing no games with nobody. See, because Dayton at one point was infested with drug dealers. And then the feds came and put all of those drug dealers in jail, federal prison. I mean, you knew who they were because they advertised who they were. They would drive these candy coated painted cars. Any car that they got, they would paint it a ridiculous one tone of candy coated paint, and that let other people know who they were. No more time. You don't want a Homewood. No, I don't. It hurts to say that for me. It hurts to say that I don't want a Homewood woman, because I know if I went in the, okay, for one, I'm not going to Homewood. Uh but see, me being that I haven't been there in years, I'm a foreigner now. Even though I could walk around in Homewood, and know where I'm going, I'm a foreigner now. So I can't, everything has changed since I've been there. So yeah, I can't do what I used to do. But I would go to Oakland and be all right. Uh yeah, Cleveland is a hard spot. It's one of the poorest cities. I wouldn't suggest that. But like I said, I can go to Oakland, I can be all right. I can go to Swissvale, I'll be all right. But Swissvale is right on the edge of Homewood. Rankin, I wouldn't even do it. Uh Braddock, hell, now Braddock is more white people than black. They taking that over. Uh and then if you go across the bridge from that, Duquesne was full of, drug heads. Black people were strung out on drugs. So I can't suggest Duquesne either. And I mean, but those are all pretty much inner city, or cities, or boroughs right outside the city. Beaver Falls, maybe, but or somewhere in Westmoreland County, or I don't know, but those are all the heavily populated places where black people live. Of course, you got black people living on the outskirts there too, but when it gets very rural, you don't have black people living there. There are just some places black people aren't there, where the houses are a half mile apart. There ain't no black people there. All that land, ain't no black people there. That's all white people. You know, if you go into the city, yeah. I got some relatives that still work there. If you go into East Liberty and the Krogers that work there, I got a relative, she still work there. I got a cousin that still works in well, she still lives in Homewood. Yeah, she still lives in that ratchet place. She don't live far from where she grew up in Homewood. That's where she grew up. Right there on no, never Rankin, bro. Never Rankin. She grew up on Mertland and Monticello. So right at that intersection where Westinghouse High School is. Mertland Monticello, if you go down the street, Westinghouse High School is right there. I don't even know it's open anymore. It was nothing but black people coming out of that high school, and it was in the hood. Yeah, Duquesne. So you know what I'm talking about. Duquesne is nothing but a bunch of drug heads. I mean, it's crazy. And listen, Duquesne at one time was the place to be because Kennywood Park. I graduated from New Brighton. That's where I went to high school. I'm a Lion. I'm a New Brighton Lion. But I was there when it was super racist. You know what I'm saying? The black girls didn't want black boys like me. They wanted white dudes. Yeah. And all the black guys, everyone that I know of that came out of that came out of my class, every one of them married a white woman. Every single one of them has married a white woman or has a child by him. Every single one. No, no, the giant eagle that's in the giant is it giant eagle or Kroger? I think it's giant eagle. The one that's right there on shoot, I don't know what street it's on. It's right there in East Liberty. I don't even know if she still works there. But her sister is the one who still lives in Homewood, and their family, there's 9 of them. Their family grew up on Mertland and Monticello, right down the street from Westinghouse, which used to be a big powerhouse school for football and basketball, and track and stuff like that. But they were notorious for football, for damn good football. Just like Aliquippa was notorious for football. And then Aliquippa started battling out with Beaver Falls. And then when New Brighton start playing Beaver Falls, we get our ass kicked because there were so many black people that played for the Falls. Yeah, it's a gang school. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All this stuff is terrible now. You want your teenage daughter pregnant? Send her to Westinghouse. She'll get pregnant with like that year. Immediately. She will come home pregnant. It's like in less than a month. You send her to Westinghouse, your little girl is going to come back pregnant. She's not graduating without a child. It's not happening. And if she's very pretty, oh yeah, she might have 2. Hold on a second. Yeah, she might have 2 by the time she graduates. I seen it happen. You got your hand up. I've never seen you like this before. You have to say you go ahead and name, but it's the last time where you won't see me anymore. The last time. The last time. So there's a sunshine. Yeah, I was working on that. But yeah, you want your little girl pregnant, send her to Westinghouse. I mean, she'll get pregnant real quick. Shoot, I wasn't gangster enough. Them boys scared me. Shakespeare, Giant Eagle. Yeah, I wasn't hood enough for them. I got ran out of Quiptown because them little girls liked me, but them dudes couldn't take it. They was about to jump me one day. I went to a party up there, and I was up there with Dan Short. Dan Short played for Pitt, big black dude. He played for Pitt, and he brought me up there to this little hole in the wall. You know what I'm saying? Brought me up there. He's like, yo, just go chill over there. You know what I'm saying? And this little cute little dark-skinned girl started talking to me, and it was cool. We was vibing. And I could tell she was with it. She wanted to get to know me and everything. Oh, okay. I didn't know the school was still open, but she wanted to, get to know me. We was teenagers though. I was like, oh my goodness, I was like 15, and these three dudes, because I was sitting at a table, and these three dudes came over and got right in my face. They were like, "Yo, you say something to my girl." I was like, "Who's your girl?" Like, so and so. You say something to her? I was like, "Nah, man. She just, nah, I ain't say nothing." I'm looking. I was shook. I'm like, "Oh man, I'm about to get jumped." Then I was like, "Okay," and they was like, "All right." They bounced. I got up. I went over to the biggest dude that was in there. There's a guy who brought me there, and I was like, "Yo, these dudes right here just came over and said something to me." He was like, "Who?" I was like, "Them dudes right there." He's like, "Hold on." He went over there and he was like, "Yo, he's with me. Don't mess with him. He's with me." And I was that. I went back and sat down. Nobody else said anything to me. And then when we left, I saw Honey get in the car and she was waving bye to me out the back of the window. She was like, "Bye." Like I knew she was, she liked me, but you can't like nobody in Aliquippa. You can't. That's happened to me more than once. Happened to me again when I was an adult. I was dating Vanessa Williams, the track star. I know who she was. I was living here during that time. And I just saw her met her at a club. I met her at Donzi's. Donzi's ain't open no more. Or maybe it is, I don't know. But I met her at Donzi's. She lived in Moon Township. She was like, "Let's go out." I was like, "All right." She took me to Quip Town, bro. As soon as we walked in there, sat down, she got to acting funny. She was sitting there looking around like, and I looked at her, and then I looked behind me, and there's a dude staring at me. I looked a little bit over to his right, there was another dude, and I looked across, there's another dude, and I turned around and looked right at her, and I said, "Listen, if they jump on me, I'm jumping on you." I made it clear. Like I'm a okey doke, but I ain't that okey doke. These cats jump me, I'm coming after you. And she knew I knew where she lived. And that was it. That was it for us. You brought me to a spot to get jumped. Oh, I'm gonna come see you. I'm coming to see you. You ain't getting away with this. You brought me here. And then she ended up leaving with them. I was like, cool. I came back to Dawn Z's like a week later and I saw her. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was walking with another chick. You don't bring me to some spot where it's dangerous and then you left me. Nah, I'm not that corny. Like, I'm not, you going, all right, cool. I'm not that corny. If I gotta fight my way out of this joint, and that's what I thought I was gonna have to do. I was like, "Oh shoot, I'm about to get jumped." I knew it was coming. I was like, "I'm about to get jumped. Ain't no way I'm coming out of this." And I was like, "All right." I told her, I said, "Yeah, I'm coming for you." And she knew I was serious because she played me like a sucker. I was like, "I'm coming." I just looked at her right now. I was like, "I'm coming for you." You know, I'm a, I know where you live. I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. That was all I was thinking about. Any of these cats put their hands on me, I'm going to beat you in front of your two kids. I'm gonna beat you to death. Now you don't set me up like that. You knew it was dangerous out here. I didn't know where she was taking me. And then you gonna roll out with these goofballs? Nah, bro. Nah. That was it though. I ain't never mess around in Quip Town again. Cause I don't like that energy, bro. I don't want nothing to do with that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was just there for the women. I wasn't there for fighting with dudes over some chick that everybody know. And that's what got me. Everybody knew her. She set me up. I got out of there without, I got out of there by the grace of God, but that chick set me up. Yeah, Donzi's ain't open no more. That used to be the spot. You go down there. That's where I met Cordell Stewart. I didn't meet him, but I saw him. He was there. This is before he met Portia. So it when I saw Cordell Stewart, he was still playing quarterback for the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Donzi's was popping, and the DJ was Nick Nice. I don't even know if he DJs anymore. He's as old as I am. Because he used to DJ for WAMO. Yeah, the DJ was Nick Nice, who is a white dude who keeps a fine black woman. He probably got kids. His kid's probably 20 years old by now. He probably got, last time I saw him with a chick, she was just, shoot. Made you just want to spit. She was so fine. But he always had a nice looking woman. But Donzi's was full of women. Full of them. I kept going there. I had a great time. Then they closed it. All right, guys, I've been on for 3 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I appreciate you guys. You have a good evening.